And it says that there's a percentage of our genetic code that isn't human. Everybody, like born after a certain period of time, we have a genetic code that is not human at all. You can't even trace where it came from.
Right.
So, in my opinion, I feel like we're all kind of spliced with a little bit of fucking weird DNA.
That's the
just in my own freaky like tinfoil hat
So there's-
opinion.
All right, here we go.
Let's get into what's up with that bitch.
Let's go.
I like the Majin Buu sticker too that you got on it. Really? Wait, that's the first guitar you've ever named?
Yeah, that's Boo.
That's hard. I fuck with it.
I've never been like into like naming stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like naming cars and shit.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've never.
I think how we sounding on the levels.
I think it sounds good. Take a look at that.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I don't know. I feel like
Oh yeah.
naming stuff just kind of. I don't know. I just never really did it.
I think I got into the naming cars thing around like my second or third car. I would say it was my third car. The car that just got totaled a couple months ago. I named that. But it was never like a big thing to me until I realized other people did it, and then I was just like, "Oh, that's cool. If my car looked like this, it would be named this," like that type of shit. But I don't know. It's all about, in my opinion, perspective and personality, because every car has a personality, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they do.
like how they start up in the morning, how they are affected by how you drive it in certain ways. It's like that shit will like tell you, like if you're going over 80 miles an hour and it starts shaking, yeah, you know what I mean? It's like
People don't know how to like feel their car though.
oh my god,
You know?
yeah.
They'll just drive that shit and it's all like bouncing down the street. Yeah.
So speaking of cars, right? So the car I got right now, it's a '02 Honda Accord. I got
Is that a loaner car or is that
Nah, I bought it straight cash. Yeah.
nice?
Let me tell you this story.
All right, here we go.
Before we get into that, welcome back to another episode of What's Up With That.
Episode 62, I think.
I think.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah, welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's good to have another conversation with my boy Nick, man. And so much has happened since our last pod, bro. Like, it's kind of crazy just to see it all kind
Oh,
of.
I know. A lot of shit happens in 1 month. It's really a trip.
And has 1 month to you felt like 2 in terms of like the amount of things that have gone on?
I don't know what it is. Just the past like 4 weeks have just like flown by, but it felt really long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It feels like just so much shit has happened, really.
Condensed in a
I
very
guess maybe because we had the election and shit in between there. It was just a lot of shit at once.
and time change.
And time change.
We gained an hour, but it's getting darker earlier. It's getting lighter earlier. Like, yeah, me too.
It's the worst.
Yeah, I don't.
It's so depressing.
But only certain people do that. Like, I don't know if you know this, but there are only certain places that actually stick to the time change schedule. There's certain places
Oh,
that
that
don't.
dude. Yeah, we're one of the only countries that do daylight. Yeah. When I found that out, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. It's like there's different simulations going on at the same time.
Well, that's why it's just so crazy. It's like, how do you experience time, you know? Because it's so different for everybody.
Exactly. So, how I experienced time on October 28th, I woke up in the morning, brand new Tyler, the Creator album, Chromacopia. And me and Tyler, I think we're like 1 year apart, but we have the same birthday. So I'm like,
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
yeah. So like Pisces, we were like weird as fuck. But outside of that, I was just like, damn, like, oh shit, my dude dropped. Like, fuck, like I'm super hyped. And I had just worked the whole weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 12-hour shifts back to back to back. He dropped on a Monday, and that's industry, that's like a big no-no to the industry. The industry typically
dead
drops on
day.
Fridays.
Yeah.
That's their big thing because they want to capitalize on everybody being off. It's the weekend. All the clubs are popping, blah, blah, blah.
New Music Friday. Yeah.
Tyler dropped on a Monday, and he was like, yo, I hate, and his testament, word for word, was, I hate that people have to live with an album for 3 days or one weekend versus like you get the whole week to vibe out with the shit. And then by the end of the week, you have a collective idea of what this is or how this made me feel. So he was like, I'm going to drop on a Monday. I don't give a fuck. Like, whatever. And then he streamlined it with like, I think 2 singles before the album dropped. And so I was already looking forward to it. So when Monday came, I was off. I woke up in the morning, got to it. Next thing you know, bro, I was like, you know what? Today's a me day. Like, your first day off, in my opinion, should be a me day. You do whatever the fuck you want.
Recharge.
You recharge, you sleep in, you stay in the bed, you rub your toes together. Whatever you do, like, if you've dedicated yourself to a company or to a brand or to your business for X amount of days and you get that first day off, like, that's a me day, in my opinion. My me day is I'm chilling, I'm smoking, I'm drinking my coffee, and then I'm wearing slides all day. Like, I'm just chilling. Like even right now, I'm wearing slides because I don't know about you, but like, I hate to wear my shoes that I wore at work for 12 hours when I'm not at work.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? I was going to ask you a question too about that, but nah, I don't want to sidetrack. So start the day. Cool. Everything's good. New album. Fucking perfect. And I was like, okay, I got a couple things to do today. So I'm going to go to Irving and go to a couple different stores, like Five Below, like shit like that. You know what I mean? Go to Ross, see if I might find a little here and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Need new sneakers, things like that.
Right.
So I ended up going to Irving. I go to Ross, I go to Five Below, and I found a fucking nice little stabilizer for my phone to shoot content. Then I went to Ross, which was right next door. Found 2 pairs of sneakers, some Vans I've never seen before in my life. And I was
Ross is a place you can get a little come up at. I like that.
it's dog. The Vans were $30.
Yeah. That's like standard at Ross. Dude, I used to walk in there with my beat up skate shoes, take them off, put them on the rack, and put some new bitches on and walk right out. And then I'd come in like next week and my old shoes would have a price tag on them. I'm not even lying.
That's G.
Yeah. They just sell them.
Yo. So all right, I'm just painting the picture for you so you can understand everything. Like, I got a new stabilizer. I also bought a microphone that's like a clip-on mic,
Okay.
and you can clip it to the phone.
Yeah, like a Bluetooth mic?
Basically,
Yeah.
you know. So I got one of those because I was like, okay, if ever Nick comes over to the crib, we can still shoot content at my crib and be good and have a conversation or whatever, you know.
That's a good idea.
It's easier for me personally, and then I could edit the audio later. So I got all that, and I was like, okay, cool. And I got some new sneakers. Oh shit, damn, there's some Pumas. I need some new sneakers for work too. Fuck it, it's only $30. Like, all right, $60. Like, that's nothing. You know what I mean? For 2 pairs of sneakers, that's nothing. So I was like, all right, cool. Boom, coming back home, I stop at Trader Joe's. Bro, I spent like $30 at Trader Joe's, and I got like 2 bags worth of groceries. I love Trader Joe's. So I was just like, all right, cool, boom, 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 got that. Coming back home, I'm 5 blocks away from my crib. 5 blocks, literally. 2 lights. Like, it was really not that crazy.
Yeah.
A USPS driver who I had saw just come out of the Quick Trip parking lot, and he's in one of them big vans. Comes out, I'm driving, I'm in the left lane, he's in the right lane. This motherfucker swerves over into my lane and is trying to cross into the other street of incoming traffic to go into another parking lot. Mind you, I'm listening to the new Tyler, the Creator album. The last song on the album, and this is like the second listen I've had. The last song on the album is, it's called like, I Hope You Make It Home. No. Yeah. Swear to God. I'm listening to that shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm driving. Next thing you know, I was like, boom, crash into the side of a fucking USPS mailbox truck. Because he just abruptly jumped into my lane and then stopped to try to get over into another lane. He did not see me.
Yeah, he didn't see you
at all. And they have a weird like peripheral in terms of like how they sit, where they are, and then their shit. Like, and what I learned is they don't even have cameras on their vans. Like, it's 2024.
Yeah, I guess they should have them, right?
But dog, at this point in time, y'all could have installed some cameras. Like, USPS is pocketing a lot of money when it comes to the upgrades on their vehicles. Fuck you, USPS. So, anyways, I'm still dealing with them. So then he gets out the shit. I actually had to chase him down, and then he got out of the car. I got out of my shit, and I already knew my car is totaled. Like, just off the impact alone, it was just like, yeah, it's over with, you know? So we had this whole conversation. And then, have you ever watched that show Beef? The Asian on Netflix? So then this Asian lady drives up behind us. Like, we go into the parking lot that he was going to go into. She drives up behind us, and she's like, "You hit my car. What the fuck?" And I was like, "Lady, I just got T-boned, like, by another vehicle. What are you talking about?" I didn't even know. When my car ran into the fucking USPS, the opposite lane, and my car bumped into another car.
Oh, you didn't even feel it.
At all.
Yeah.
I was too focused on what just happened in front of me. I didn't even know my car, like, kind of got ricocheted into another car. And so she was like, "I have the video. I got everything. Like, I saw it. I saw your face." And she reminded me of the girl from Beef, like the Asian lady that was going crazy. So I was just like, at first I was kind of mad because I was just like, "Are you sure I hit you? Like, did this not happen before? Like, are you trying to come up on this whole experience?"
I would have thought the same thing.
You know? And she was like, "No." Like, so then I walked around my car and I saw like a light scrape around on the side of my car, and I was like, "Oh my God."
Well, you're not at fault for that.
Of course not.
No.
But in her reaction, I was the person that hit her. But in my reaction, I got hit by someone else.
Yeah, it was a domino effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was just like, "Lady, like, I am so sorry." And it was a very small dent, like, in her car, like a fender, like it was very small. And this feels like a movie, I'm telling you. So then a guy comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Bro, y'all good? What's going on?" Black dude, Timberlands, dirty as hell. He looked scruffy as shit.
Yeah.
He had came from the parking lot that the fucking USPS driver just left. He worked at Take 5 Oil Change.
Okay.
Shout out to that guy. Can't remember his name. It's like DeMarcus or some shit. He came and he was like, "Yo," like, he checked out her car and he was like, "Oh, it's just a little minor shit." He went under the shit, popped the dent out right then and there. And he was just like, "Yo, you just got to buff that little, you know what I mean? And you're going to be all right."
Yeah.
And he was like, and I was just like, "Oh, you are a G. You saw the whole thing?" And he was like, "Yeah." So now I got two different accounts of this whole situation. She had a dash cam, front and back, visual footage of the whole thing.
Damn.
So I got all the video footage of the accident. And then I got another account of a patron from the guy that he just left.
So all this to say, you got some money, right?
Not yet.
How'd you get the car? Gotcha.
I'll get
So you got some money coming.
All right.
So I'm seeing
Everybody else told this story has the same look that you
seeing
have.
this as a come up.
Everybody has said the same thing. But let me tell you, when it comes to the government, it takes way longer.
Sure, but it's coming.
It's coming.
Yeah.
But I had to. Okay, so fast forward. We go through all the litigations, everything else. I call my lawyer. I call a bunch of people. And my lawyer's like, "Listen, I've had a USPS case before. You're going to be sitting for about 6 months to a year before you even see a paycheck, you know? But they're at fault. You got video footage. We saw the footage. We can fight for you. But you got to do X, Y, and Z." So I've been going to a doctor and
You gotta do all that.
chiropractor.
Yep.
I have to do this treatment for like the next 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
After the treatment, I got x-rays done. I've seen the disc in my back and all the ones that are fucked up and deteriorated.
Kinsey had to do that after a car wreck too.
And he was like, listen, it's going to be a long game, but if you stick with it, you'll be good. Just do X, Y, and Z. You know what I'm saying? And so I was just like, all right, cool. So when my car got totaled out, I had found out 2 days prior that when your car gets totaled out, you have 2 options. You can keep the car, get a little bit of money to fix it, but it's never enough to fix the car. Or you total it out, you get a bigger check, and then you live your life. I had a rental, and my rental was for the month. But after the adjuster finds out how much your car is worth, you only have the rental for 3 days after that. So imagine the week, like, mind you, I got my rental the same night that I got in a car accident. So then the week that everything got like totaled out, I only had 3 days left. And I don't know if you've been car shopping lately, bro, but they're expensive. Like my car, I got for $3,900. My Nissan Altima, a 2012. In 2019, I got it for $3,900. Guess how much the market value for that car is now?
15.
$5,000.
Really?
$5,000. That's bare minimum. Even if it's ass, it's still a $5,000 car. So it's went up in value because all of the car manufacturers slowed down with production because there's this microchip in a lot of cars, and I'm sure you heard about it. Like they stopped the production on that after COVID. Like there's not a lot of new cars getting produced unless you're like Tesla or something major. So older cars that are good on gas, they are high value, even if they're not quote unquote high value.
Yeah.
So my adjuster tells me, hey man, you got 3 days left with this car. We're going to give you this check and that's it. And I was like, okay, so what am I going to do? Can I keep my rental longer? And he was like, if you keep the rental longer, you're not going to get paid as much for your payout for the total.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, all right, you know what? Bet. I started asking everywhere. I hit Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, all the shit for like used cars. Even police auctions. Like I got desperate because we still got to get to work. You know what I'm saying? And my girl was like, yo, you can use my car. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to use your car because that's another liability. And the way people are driving right now.
You gotta have your own car.
I'm a man. I gotta have my own vehicle. I don't even like driving Hirsch. Like I don't at all. So I'm just like, nah, I'm gonna figure it out. But thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate you, baby. But I'm gonna figure it out. So I'm asking around, blah, blah, blah. Next thing you know, it gets to the last day I have this rental. And my coworker is like, yo, I'm about to buy this car from another one of our coworkers, but I don't have all the money for it. And I was like, how much is that car? How much is he going to give it to you for? He said $700 for a Honda Accord 02. It has 230,000 miles on it. So it's a fossil.
Yeah.
But in the grand scheme of things, like I can fix some cars, bro. Like I've did an engine swap before. Like
The trade-in value alone on it is more than 700. So
exactly,
Yeah.
like that's a lick. so I was just like, word, like you ain't got all the money for it. So then I hit up, oh boy, and I kind of felt like a snake after I did everything, but at the same time, I was like, nah, it's survival of the fittest. If you don't have all your money up, and I do, then it is what it is. So I hit up the old dude, and I was like, bro, like, I heard you're selling this car. I need a car now. And within the next day, he let me get that car. And so,
the man.
yeah, like,
It is.
dog. And like, I did all this while I was at work. So I'm at work with my rental. I had to drive back down the middle of fucking downtown Dallas, drop off the rental, get a lift back to work, and then had the fucking car that I just bought dropped off at work. the same night.
Nice.
Yeah, it was a GTA mission, bro. Like, so I was just like, bro, like, when your back is put against the wall, and you have, in my opinion, and I was telling this to my family members and my friends and my woman, like, when your back is against the wall, you're either gonna fold or you're gonna stand tall.
Yeah.
And I had to stand tall because if I
Figure
folded,
it out.
yeah, if I folded, I would have been relying on other people. But if I stood tall and just stuck to the mission, then
You got a long-term game now too, because you got that money from the car coming. Then you can trade in that with that. You can have a nice car after that. I see it as a come up, dude.
oh, it's a super come up.
I mean,
It's
anytime,
a long term.
yeah, anytime someone gets in a car wreck and everyone's all right and it just totaled the car out, that's a come up.
Yeah.
That's a come up, dude. And
Yeah.
take it and run with it. Like,
Yeah.
like, take your blessing and run with it.
Oh, for sure,
know?
for sure. That's why I
It's all
really.
about perspective, though. You got to look at it that way. Because if you sit there and just go, "Fuck, I just got in a car wreck," fuck, and you imagine you got out of the car like mad as fuck and like mad at the Asian lady and she didn't give you the camera footage. You know, like it's all about how you
Handle the situation, because you can't control your circumstances or the things that happen to you. You can only control how you react.
Crazy
to
though.
them.
Those other people just kind of walked up though, and then one dude popped the dent out for you. You know, you ain't got to pay for that.
Well, that was her car.
Yeah. But your insurance, I guess, unless she did the claim for it, but
Well, that's the thing. She hit me up because I hit her. So she's been going back, and me and her still talk to this day. Like, she's a nice lady, but she's just like, yo, like USPS is giving me the runaround, like what's going on. So I've been talking to her, and it was crazy because when she got out the car, she was standing on business. Like, she was on some like, what the fuck? Like, you hit my car.
Yeah.
And I'm just like,
adrenaline
lady,
pumping.
lady, I had just got you. Do you see the state of my car right now? Like, I'm going through it too. But between me being cool with the USPS driver that ran into me and then the other lady, it kind of settled the shit down like tremendously. But it was one of those things where, like you said, like it's all about how you handle it. Like if I didn't get her number and I just kind of like got crazy on her because I was in a fucked up situation, I wouldn't have got all that information from the video to her shit, everything else. And I was just like, yo, we're in a crazy predicament right now, but it's going to get worked out.
You know, like statistically, most accidents happen like within 5 miles of your house.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It's it's the time when you're not paying attention the most because you're so relaxed. You're like, I'm almost home.
Yeah.
You're driving a little careless.
Autopilot.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
So that's when they happen.
Wow, I didn't know that. But it makes sense though, like given the circumstances. I'm sorry this is a long story, guys, but it's been quite some time since me and my boy met.
Let's change gears then.
Of course.
Penguin.
Oh my God, you're gonna jump straight into it?
So if y'all haven't seen Penguin yet, it's like it's obviously a Batman spinoff, but I like to compare it as dude. It reminded me of like Goodfellas when I first started watching it. Like it was like kind of mobby,
Ooh,
kind of
okay.
like gangsterish, you know?
Yeah, of course.
He's got his like clique and they're all mobbed up and shit.
Right.
But, I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and jump straight to spoiler here, right to the end.
Damn.
Why? Because I just watched it like a couple hours ago.
I told
Why-
you to watch it, so
why-
I'm glad you're doing this.
Why they gotta do my boy Victor like that? At the very end, they're just sitting there,
So
and
mad.
he's just like, "I can't have no family." He just chokes him out right there.
So mad. Like,
What was the point of that? They could have just went on and had a whole fucking empire.
I had to hear other people's perspectives before I had a conclusion, because I was pissed, and I could tell on your face when you I asked you like, "Yo, did you watch that episode?"
Because the whole time, like you asked me, and I was watching, and I was like, "Okay, this is kind of what I expected." And then at the very end, I was like, "This is what Nim was talking about." This was it. And it's like the last 10 minutes of it.
At the very end,
Very end.
like it fucked me up. Like I didn't see how he was gonna like get Shorty back. You know what I'm saying, in terms of getting her locked up and shit. I
Your
did.
ass back in jail.
Yeah, I did not see that coming. But then with Victor, I was like, wait, what? This makes no sense to me. You know how many times Victor saved that dude's life?
Exactly, yeah.
Like, real time saved his life? Like, multiple times.
But honestly, when they were sitting there and he's like, you know, I couldn't have done this without you and all that shit, I kind of got the vibe. I was like, he ain't about to. Nah.
I didn't see that coming.
Oh man, I barely saw that coming, but I don't know. It was really a trip though to see that whole like Russell Crowe like play that character and like get developed into that, and like him murdering his brothers and like.
Well, not Russell Crowe.
What's his name? What the fuck's his name? Fuck it. But it's a.
But yes. God damn, why am I drawing a blank? And the crazy, yeah, you gotta look it up.
What the fuck
The
is
crazy thing about it is his character, I didn't even know that was him, like playing the penguin, until it was like a couple days later, and I was like, wait a minute, that's so and so, because I would see like the makeup and shit being done After Effects wise. Colin Farrell.
Yeah, I got it mixed up.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Russell Crowe, Colin Farrell. Hey, they both got a C in their names, so. But nah.
Just a little off.
Colin Farrell he has to win awards for this shit. Like, in my opinion, the last episode encompassed the last 2 episodes, really, because it showed his childhood and how he killed his brothers, and then like how he did his mom. And then on top of that, with the last episode, you know, they were putting his mom through all this.
His mom tried to kill him too.
Psychological shit.
Yeah.
You know, they were going, like, they literally brainwashed her to remember her memories. Mm-hmm. And then she was fucked up since then, because she was like, yo, I remember you killed your brothers. Like, I never, you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. Any spoilers out there?
Oh, it's already over,
Yeah,
yeah.
y'all late. From what I heard, that's why I had to get a second opinion. Like, the reason he killed Victor was because he has a soft spot for people that are close to him.
Yeah.
And he doesn't want that.
And that's why it was to protect himself, so people couldn't hold anything against him. I understood that, but
at the same time, if you're Batman, you don't kill your Robin.
No.
You know what I'm saying? And they were like the imperfect perfect duo. In terms of like
when it first started, like I knew like the whole like Batman like story, you know, and like the main characters and shit, but I'd never heard of this Victor Aguilar, and so I like Googled it, like first episode, I was like, who's Victor Aguilar in like the Batman verse, you know?
Yeah.
He's a nobody. He's not even like a character.
Really?
They just made him for this series, and so I think that's another reason they killed him, because they didn't.
He didn't have a place in the actual story.
In the Batman verse, yeah. I'm just now kind of piecing that together as we're talking about it, but...
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That actually makes a lot of sense. But I didn't even think Victor was going to last as long as he lasted. I'll be real with you. But the fact that he became a focal point for damn near every episode, I was like, okay, he's going to be here for a minute. Yeah. But that ending, to this day, I'm still kind of messed up about it, because I was just like, bro, like, you would have been dead a long time ago if it wasn't for Victor.
The level of like manipulation in that show is crazy.
Insane.
Everybody like just spinning everything, and it's really one of those shows where like you don't know what's coming.
And that's good writing, and we haven't had that in quite some time. Like, I don't know what's the last show you watched that had a level of writing on that like level, especially with a DC franchise. Like, that shit is different. You know what I'm saying? We don't really get that often. Like, what's the last superhero or villain show that you watched that was like that captivating?
Peacemaker. That was a dope one.
Okay.
Have you seen that one?
I didn't watch the whole thing.
With John Cena?
Yeah.
It's good, dude.
John Cena, like, I'm 50-50 with him. Like, sometimes he's cool.
Him as Peacemaker is really funny, because it's like real like satire and almost like a parody of a superhero. So you don't like take it seriously.
Right.
It's good.
For me, the last show was The Boys.
I haven't watched that one. I've never watched it. I don't know. I just never got into it.
You have Amazon?
Yeah, I just haven't watched it.
Oh, my God. Yo, you're going to have a good winter.
Yeah.
It's good. Bro.
I'll start watching that then.
It's really
That's
good.
with Homelander and all them, right?
Yes, bro. What? Oh, my God. I'm actually happy for you, because you got, like, seasons worth of content to watch.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You would love The Boys.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
It's very satirical, very fucking dark, and it's super gory. Like, they hold no bars.
Kind of like the new Deadpool was.
Yes.
Kind of real gory.
Yeah.
I just watched that like last
Deadpool.
week.
Wait, the Deadpool Wolverine?
Yeah.
For the first time?
Yeah, well, it just came on Disney, so I was like, fuck it.
Wait, what? You didn't see it when it was in theaters? Mm-hmm. Are you not like a Deadpool like fan like that?
I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not, you know.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. No holds barred. I understand.
I thought it was great. That was funny. I mean, it was
I kind of fell asleep, if I'm being real with you.
it was kind of itself
Yeah.
at times, you know. It was a little too on the nose, like, I don't know.
It was very, this is Deadpool
Yeah.
versus like writing.
I hate those, like, well, let's give them what they want scenes, you know? Like, come on. Like, I'm not a super nerd fan like that, so it's not cool to me.
Not only that, they relied too much on that versus the actual story around how Deadpool and Wolverine linked up.
Right.
Because based off of when, I'm sure you watched the Wolverine movie when he fought Deadpool and originally, like Ryan Reynolds was Deadpool back then. So like
With the no mouth and all that.
Yeah, he had the shit sewed up and everything was crazy. But that was a Wolverine movie, so it was completely different. Versus Deadpool is very satirical. Like it's very, you know, I'm joking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna break the third wall. Like talk to you guys. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, but in terms of like, they relied on that, and they relied on the death of movies and artists or people that appeared in certain movies that never appeared again. Like nobody ever thought of Woman Magneto or Woman, you know, Professor Xavier or the other versions of the Marvel universe that existed.
Hold on. Blade. Everyone wanted a new Blade movie. And Gambit. I need a Gambit movie, dude, with John Cena as Gambit. I'm about to make a name for myself today.
John Cena.
Oh my god, dude. Gambit was one of my favorite characters, like from all like with all the cards and shit. Like
I was going to say, who's your favorite X-Men character?
Gambit.
Okay.
100% hands down. Like he's got the fucking like the staff and all that.
Pyrokinetics,
shit.
yeah.
All the cards. He's just a sick dude, like playing poker, like
And he has a cool accent.
Louisiana accent.
Gambit was definitely one
Even
of
in
my.
the first Wolverine movie, Gambit was badass. Gambit helped,
and he only had a very small part.
very small. He just helped him get to the island, and that was it.
Yeah,
I think there needs to be a Gambit movie, honestly. Like
he definitely deserves a movie.
oh yeah,
For a side character, I would see a Gambit movie before I watched a Cyclops movie.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Or like a Storm movie, or like
Yeah, no, fuck all them.
Yeah.
I Gambit, he has a story that is like, okay, cool. How did you get to the cards? How did you notice that?
Right.
Like, that's a cool come up movie. You know what I'm saying?
I wish they made that more rather than Daredevil back in the day. Like that was a all right movie.
That shit sucks.
I think a Gambit
If you
movie.
rewatch Daredevil now, it's trash.
Yeah.
Even the Netflix version, I did not fuck
I
with.
didn't watch that either.
Yeah, you didn't miss nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. But back to Penguin, because we were gonna go on a crazy tangent just now. I just felt like the last episode, it was meant to make people feel something, and writers do that. They want to affect their watchers with like, okay, this is a moment, even if y'all don't understand it. This is his psychology in terms of a fucked up mom relationship, no dad, and on
How
top
about
of that,
the end scene where he hired
all right, the sex worker
to
that
be
was his
mom?
girlfriend pretended to be his
How
mom.
twisted is that?
And what's crazy is the flashback scene when his mom was like, "I just want to have a place that's overlooking Manhattan," and,
That's where she's at.
and she's there, but she's a vegetable.
Yeah, he's like, it's everything you wanted, Ma. She ain't even there for it. Yeah.
But she cried still at the end. I was like, "Oh my god, this is some."
What fucked me up though is like, okay, she stabs him in the stomach,
Yeah.
and then like, dude's just running around doing all kinds of shit like nothing happened. They
Talking to
takes her to the
politicians.
hospital, and they're like, she needs to be seen, and they're not even checking his bleeding stomach out. Like,
No.
I hated how they just glossed over that.
Yeah.
And
Then
he's in there stapling himself, like
yeah, and he should have died,
that's what I'm saying. Like you get any kind of stomach injury, you are dead.
bro. He crawled out of a bomb of rubble, like out of nowhere, like a bomb. And all right,
The same
that-
place his brothers died. Like, that's just writing, you know.
good writing. That's what I'm saying. Like, good writing. But that whole fight he had with the mob boss, then the mob boss got a heart attack mid-fight. I was mad as fuck about that.
That's kind of lame.
I was just like, wait a minute, wait, what? What's going on? Like, he survived again just off of this pure, you know what I'm saying, miraculous.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of here.
I watched Alien Romulus yesterday.
Okay, I haven't watched that yet.
Watch it.
Okay.
That movie could end 20 minutes before it does.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
The last like 20 minutes of it, you're just like, come on.
Yeah.
Come the fuck on.
They
Like,
dragged it out.
dude, it got cheesy bad. Like, it felt like they didn't know how to end it. So they're just like, well, what if we do this? What if this happens? And then
But overall, though, like,
cool movie. But like,
really?
yeah, and like, so like the movie's ending, like you feel the movie ending, and then like all of a sudden, another alien comes out, and they're just like, starts all over. They got to chase this thing through the fucking spaceship again, and you're just like, we just did this. You just ended it all. Why are we doing it all over again? Like, what the fuck? I don't know. I was watching it like, dude, are you serious? Check it out though. It's a good movie.
I got a day off, so I will.
Yeah.
I've been seeing it posted on my PlayStation, but I was just like, oh, okay, I'll check it out when I check it out.
It's cool because like if you've seen the other Alien movies, like they kind of like call back to it, and like there's scenes that like are like they go back to the ship from the first.
The
Alien,
original
and
Alien.
you see like the dead characters from that movie. They're still there because it's in space. So all the characters are still there. They're all dead and shit, but
Okay.
it's kind of cool.
Okay. Okay. I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
It's neat.
Yeah. No. Do you think we're spoiled in terms of like
No, we're 100%.
the content that we've received over the past 10, 20 years?
Yeah.
And there's so many reboots of different things that like you can already kind of see what's going to happen because that's just another story that's just rewritten, but it's the same story.
Yeah.
And you got other people that now we have technology to where we can like research everything.
You know Shogun, that movie Shogun?
Yeah.
That
You mean TV show?
Yeah, the show, sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
On FX. That was a show in the 80s.
Really?
It's a remake. I
Wow.
didn't know that. I heard that from Quentin Tarantino. He was like, I don't need to watch that. I watched it in the 80s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucked up. That's a good show too.
No, it is. It's cool as shit. But when I heard Tarantino say that, I was like, oh, it kind of broke it for me. Thought it was new. There's nothing new under the sun, though.
Nothing.
There's nothing new under the sun, dude. Everything is a remake and a rewash of something else.
And interesting enough, which is good that we're talking about this, I feel the same way about music.
Yeah.
I feel like
But honestly, like artists like us, though, we hear music so much, though. We hear the repetitive things more than the normal person. So we're like, especially someone like you who's a sample person, you notice things like, oh, that's from that. Oh, that's from, I heard that. Or like, so I think we're a little more prone to picking up on those things.
yeah, that's the it's how do I put it? All right, being the consumer versus being the creator. When you're the creator, you can listen and see and visualize everything that went into that creation. Versus when you're the consumer, it's only what this is making me feel, how this is impacting my life in that period of time. So we dissect it differently. Yeah. And I say that about music because Kendrick Lamar just dropped. Tyler just dropped. A lot of other people dropped, but like those were like the big, like, in my personal opinion, the big standouts.
Yeah.
And with Kendrick's album, which, did you hear it yet?
I've listened to like half of it.
Okay, she didn't hear the whole
Not
thing
the
yet.
whole thing, no.
All right, we're not going to talk about it.
I don't mind.
No. I can't talk about a movie if you haven't watched it.
I get that.
That's that's just my personal thing. Like, I don't want to spoil that for you as the consumer / creator.
All right, we'll save it.
We'll save it for another episode. That's fine. I would rather you digest it and then we can dig into it later because YouTube is full of breakdowns right now and it's insane. And I'm like, dog, like certain people are just, my girl hasn't listened to it yet. She's not a Kendrick Lamar fan, but
I felt like you sent it to me like right when it dropped.
30 minutes,
Yeah.
literally. 30 minutes.
You sent it to me, and I was like, I genuinely didn't realize what it was when you sent it to me. And I was, you just said full album, and I was like, oh, okay, this must be one of his albums that I just haven't seen. And then I listened to it, and I was like, no, this is new shit. And then the next day, I like really listened to it, and I was like, oh no, this is a whole album, like a new album. He just dropped out of fucking nowhere. It tripped me out that like the random drop is just what you can do when you're at that level.
Yeah.
Because no, it just doesn't fucking matter.
How do you feel about random drops from super big artists?
I think it's cool, dude, because I don't know, man. The month-long hype of listen to my 3-minute song for a month, like a month long, I don't know, dude. It's weird to me. I'd rather you just put it out and let's just enjoy it now. And
Yeah, versus spoon feed me a little here and there.
Just put it out.
What the interesting thing for me was, and I was thinking about it today at work, he did no press. He had no single from the album
He
drop.
doesn't need to, though, after everything that just happened. He doesn't need to.
Exactly.
He's still in the, like, mind of everybody.
He's in the hive mind.
Yeah.
And he has the Super Bowl coming up in 2 months. So, yeah, 2 months, something like that.
Kind of had to drop an album, right?
I expected it.
Yeah.
Personally, I was either expecting an album or a mixtape. This, based off of what I've heard from it, it sounds like a mixtape. It doesn't sound... It's album worthy, but it's really a mixtape.
That's kind of what I thought, too. I was like, these sound like...
Think about it. He only has SZA on the 2 songs, and then he has like one other feature.
They sound like they're not demos, but they're like not fully developed Kendricks songs. You know, like his album...
Damn.
Damn, that album is so like just after you listen to it, you go, damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't get that with this one though. From what I listened to,
This one felt like a West Coast victory lap.
yeah,
It was like, we won. All right, now we're going to drive off in our fucking, GX Chevelles and our little SS, you know what I'm
How
saying?
much of that do you think was like written in the last few months though, and wasn't like?
90%.
I think so.
Yeah. 90% for sure. Based off of lyrically everything I heard
Yeah, because that's how you can tell.
and the songs and the tempo and his voice, like he has a certain cadence. And the thing about Kendrick, which certain people don't like, his voice, which I get it, like certain people's voices, even my voice can be annoying. But when he's in a certain mode, he goes into a certain cadence. Versus when he's in a commercial mode, he has like a certain cadence. It's different. And from this shit, it was like he really was just on some like, I'm just gonna bar y'all out, but then do it with a very cohesive idea around this car. It's literally the whole thing is a car. That's the album's named after a car.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It's really cool when you look at the breakdown too. It's fucking dope. But in my opinion, that was his victory lap album after I just dismantled this GOAT that everybody's calling. But in my opinion, that is not over. Like, he's going to come with an album, but this was something to hold y'all over while y'all keep talking about me. He hasn't done no press since the Drake beef. He hasn't done any interviews, nothing besides the one that he did with Bizarre with SZA. I don't know if you heard about that.
If you got on that level, would you do interviews and shit?
Yeah.
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 Because some people just don't want to do it.
Here's the thing. I would do it, but it would be selective.
Yeah, because I feel like
Because the thing, what messes me up, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but what messes me up is, like, he doesn't even do LA interviews.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then I heard he's living in New York now, but I'm just like, bro, like, you're so rich and famous, you can have people come to you and have a conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be super cryptic. I'm cryptic now, but I don't have as much at stake to lose in terms of people like having a conversation with me and then me having to be vulnerable and might say something stupid or, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel like it kind of hinders an artist if you don't do it.
it does, but when you get to a certain level, like you said, like, if you're at that level, would you still do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, the last Drake interview was with Lil Yachty.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see like Eminem doing that.
Hell no.
You're not doing press.
No.
Yeah.
But I also think that a lot of these artists are socially awkward.
No doubt.
Imagine sharing a room with Kendrick Lamar.
I'm a big MGK fan, and that he just started doing like interviews and podcasts and stuff because that's why. Because he's awkward and doesn't talks weird and off mic, you know, and it's just not the best like podcast to be kind of like you know.
Yeah, yeah. And yet you're in front of a mic for your career.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, that's what I've heard him talk about it. He's like, I'm better at writing how I feel rather than saying it. I kind of relate to that too. I can write something down better than I can verbalize it to you in the moment.
in real time.
Yeah.
I got it.
Because how many times do you go, oh, I should have said that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, why didn't I say that?
I think about that after watching our old podcast.
All the time, dude. All the time.
Why did I laugh so loud?
Oh no, I'll sit there and be like, why didn't you think what you're thinking right now? Because it's such a obvious thought. What were you thinking about right then?
But we're so on the spot with it that it's like it's natural. It's not premeditated. You know what I'm saying?
Like frontal, like low part, you have to just sit in when you do like podcasting and stuff. And like you can't be too far back in your head thinking about stuff. You got to sit like right in it and be like, and that's kind of hard to do and like learn and flex that muscle, you know, and like just sit there and face it.
And out of a percentage of all the podcasts you've done, how much of it is formulated in your mind before you do it versus on the spot?
5%.
Really?
5%.
So most of it's freestyle.
Yeah, 5%. I'd say 95% of it. Unless you see me sitting here like
Looking at the questions and topics, yeah.
it's all freestyle. Yeah.
Same. I had like 20 topics I wanted to talk to you about before today, and we probably touched 2. But at the same time, it's like it's a natural conversation. It's not like okay, all right, now we're gonna go to this. Like I hate when podcasts do that shit. Like, okay, so what are we gonna talk about now? Like, oh, we got this on the board.
They treat it like a radio show.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like it's not organic. But then it's funny because a lot of people like to break off into like what happened this week or what's going on with your life versus my life, and then we'll go back and forth. Then we'll talk on current events. But
I feel like we kind of just weave that in as Donald Trump says, the weave.
Jeez. That's a crazy reference.
He was on Rogan talking about how he's like a weave master, how he'll like have a conversation and then just go off on this tangent and then bring it all back. Like it's all about the weave. How do you weave it in there? And he is really good at it.
I didn't watch the Rogan interview.
It's interesting.
I saw bits and pieces of it, but
this dude's talking about getting rid of like income tax and it's all kind of crazy shit, dude. But just the fact that like, I think that's why he won is because he went on Rogan and he reached that audience.
I think he won before Rogan.
Well, I mean, if you want to get down to it, when he got shot, right? Yeah.
And look at his competition. Like, I had a really difficult conversation with my mom about this because she was super pro Kamala and blah, 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 black women, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yo, I love black women too. But the difference between, first of all, the president doesn't run shit. I don't care what nobody says. Congress, the Electoral College, the people that pass bills for real, they are the real pushers of everything. So everybody out there mad as fuck about the presidency. It's like, no, you got to be mad at Congress, bro. Like, you got to look at the people that have been sitting in power for more than 4 years. And those are the people that really make the decisions. The president is just the mouthpiece of the country. He is the spokesperson. What better spokesperson than a person that's already been on television, already has charisma, says whatever the fuck he wants, and America says whatever they want. Like, land of the free, home of the brave. America, that's America. So if you're going to be mad at it, then be mad at America, but don't be mad at the president, bro. Like, I don't think Trump is going to save me.
It's all a popularity contest anyway.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And I was telling my mom, I was like, listen, the difference between Kamala and Obama is Obama was actually in the streets. Like, he was actually, like, doing advocacy before he became a president. He was really doing shit outside. Like, he was a man of the people. I met Obama.
Yeah.
Yeah, before he became president, I met him. Yeah, same church, had a book signing. He was chilling, signed my book, his book.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was dope as fuck. It was just super chill.
Yeah.
Super
Before everything.
Before everything.
Yeah.
This is when I was living in Chicago. He's a Chicago dude. Mm-hmm. Went to a mega church. He was there. Like, it was regular.
That's crazy.
But he was there. Kamala wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
She just kind of popped out. Think about it. Like, there were vice presidents we never saw before, ever, because the president held the seat forever. And this is not a fucking government podcast. We barely talk politics.
I think it's the first time we ever have.
We rarely talk politics here. I really like to keep it out of my personal conversation because people go crazy over it and like to attack people.
Yeah, it gets weird quick.
Yeah, super quick. And listen, I don't care who you're for. Whether you're left wing or right wing, it's the same bird.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, like you're flapping this way or flapping that way. You still got to go in a direction.
Right.
So I don't care.
I've never really been big into politics like that, man.
Who's more important to you, your mayor and your governor, or the president?
The governor. Yeah, I mean that affects me more directly.
That's what I be trying to tell people at work.
Yeah.
Your governor is the person that is going to dictate your laws, the schools, the funding, how our taxes are kind of like fluctuated. Those people are super important in comparison to the president. But outside of that, because I feel like I'm getting hot just talking about it. Damn, what the fuck were we talking about before that?
I don't even remember.
We went from penguin to Trump.
Trying to see if I had any.
Yo,
Sometimes I just write down questions.
How have you been? Like let's get a recap in Nick's life because we just talked about my traumatic experience. So we'll get a fucking car accident and all this other shit going on in my life. How have you been, bro?
I think since the last time I saw you.
You dropped a single.
Yeah. Went to an F1 race.
Oh, and you saw Eminem?
And Eminem. That was really cool. Seeing Eminem like in person was a trip, dude. And like seeing him do like the old school shit too.
What songs did he perform?
Dude, he performed everything from like the Marshall Mathers LP all the way to like the new stuff, dude.
Really?
Yeah, it was cool.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Did he have a long set?
It's about an hour and a half, maybe.
That's a long
That's a long, yeah. I mean, he was the only person playing, so he was headlining.
Did he have his vocals playing in the background, or was it just him?
It was him.
Oh, that's hard.
It was him. And let me tell you, dude, his backup singers, Sasha Grey.
Oh, she's fire.
One of the best fucking backup vocals ever I've ever seen. And like, think about it. How many songs like Eminem have with a female vocalist in it?
So a few.
Like Rihanna. Dude, she sound just like him. Like Dido. All those fucking songs, she sounds just like him. Cool. She stole the show, actually. Like, you sit there and watch it, and like, then she'd do her verse. She stole the whole fucking show. And like, Bazaar was there. He came out, did a verse. It was a trip, dude.
Damn.
F1, like, just to talk on that for a minute, is like, that's a crazy place.
I've never been to a F1.
Talk about a hat there is $110 for a hat.
What?
Yeah. It's wild, dude. Like, if my company didn't take me there, I wouldn't be able to afford that shit, dude.
Have you ever been to a horse race before?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I imagine it's kind of the same, though.
It's. I'm gonna put you this way, and you can tell me if you can relate. You can feel the money in the air.
Yeah.
Like you can feel it. Like it's like
yeah.
You like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Did you feel that when you went in there? It was like.
Yeah, like, you can feel the prestige.
A whole lot of money in this motherfucker.
Those cars go so fucking fast, though, dude. It's crazy to see them. Like,
did you wear earbuds?
No,
Really?
I should have, but like,
oh, you're brave.
Dude, metal band forever, dude. Playing in, I mean, I'm used to it.
Yeah.
But dude, to see those cars, like, because like you see like a car on the highway like turn and shit, but to see these cars like the way they handle and turn, it's really it's impressive. And there was one dude, Lewis Hamilton. He spun out, so that was pretty cool to see him spin out and crash and shit. It
Of course.
was like right in front of us too.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was sick.
Oh,
I'll put it down here.
yeah,
I got the video of it.
Oh, nice. And you were out there for like what, 1-2 days?
2 days, yeah. That's nice. It was sweet.
Cool, man. So you went F1,
Yeah, we did F1 and then
saw Eminem,
Yep.
and you dropped the single.
The single was cool, dude. It was like that was the first like solo thing I've done
Yeah, ever.
ever. Didn't really put any thought into like artwork or anything. Just threw it out, and I was literally like recording that song. Found a YouTube drum track, and for some reason, like I remember, I was just thinking, and like I think I watched a show on like pyramids like earlier, and it was just in my head. It was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, oh, pyramid, fuck it. Pyramid.
Spontaneous.
That's what I named it, and it just kind of rolled with it. And
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm gonna keep on putting stuff out. I've already got the next single lined up. It's done.
good.
I just gotta do some album artwork for it.
Yeah.
I've already got something kind of drafted up. I'm gonna show you, but the next single's done, and like I'm kind of thinking if like I should just save it for
The project?
yeah, or if we just go ahead and put it out. It's cool though, because like I've never really had to like think about shit on my own.
Yeah.
It's always been like a band collective thing that we do together, and like, what do y'all want to do? You know,
That's why I encourage you to do it, bro.
it's cool. It's been a lot of fun, and like, it's really kind of like opened up my guitar playing in like a whole nother lane. Because like even like today when I went to Guitar Center, I was talking to that dude, and we got to talking about like pedals and stuff, and like I barely use pedals anymore, and I just do it all digitally, and that's a whole nother like avenue I've never explored really. So it's been cool to like just plug in and play digital like that. I don't know. It's really all because of you, and like you're like, oh dude, just try it, and then it just fucking rabbit hole. I've been deep in it, dude. And even before you were like came over, I was just writing some shit.
Dog, I've seen you perform shit way before I met you. Like, you'll post old videos on your Instagram, like, from, like, 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And you're going crazy. Like, you're shredding, going crazy. And I'm like, damn, he's hard. Like, where's his music? You know, and I would always think, I'm like, damn, like, Nick is mad talented. Like, where's his stuff? Like, outside of What's Up With That in the podcast, like, your own personal stuff, like, musically.
Yeah.
Because this is an audible visual experience. But, like, if it's just audible, like, I'm not expecting you to have a whole fucking music video and going crazy in the middle of a desert.
Yeah.
Maybe later. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was just like, damn, like, this is dope. You know what I mean? Where's that? And so, whenever I meet somebody talented and is just genuinely cool, I try to encourage them because I see it. You know, I've heard it. So I'm just like, bro, where are those licks at?
And it's something I should have been doing for a long time, because like I've seen like my guitar friends doing this shit for a while now, and I don't know.
I just started a YouTube 2 years ago.
I'm really trying to figure out why I never did it.
I just started a YouTube 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Not even. It was like a year and a half ago, bro. Think about it.
I feel behind, honestly. Like I feel like so behind compared to like some of these other like that dude Bloom that came on here.
Yeah.
He's so far in like his digital playing and like how he does his YouTube and his music and all that shit. And like he's a solo artist like I am, and like I watch him and I'm just like, fuck, I got so much shit to do. Like goddamn, I'm so behind.
Why you think I sent you certain links just so you could?
Oh, I got registered with ASCAP. I did all that shit, dude. Yeah.
That I wish I did 10 years ago.
What's crazy is before you got here, I was just listening to some music, and it was a Trippie Redd song, and we were just speaking on Trippie, you know, and I was listening to that, and one of his lyrics was, "I just made $500,000 off of ASCAP," and I never processed that until I registered for ASCAP, and I was like, "Oh, that's what he meant by that."
Yeah. I think about it. Like, I kick myself in the back so much because I've been making music since 2013. So imagine being over 10 years and you didn't register any of that with something that you could actually get paid from.
Right.
Like,
I'm even going back and like I'm remastering all the metal songs from the metal band that I was in, and I fucking, it was the weirdest thing, dude. I just got on Facebook randomly, looking at my old Facebook, tell me why my old band has a group chat I didn't know about, and they've all been talking and like, and then I fucking, because I never get on Facebook.
Wait, what?
Never get on Facebook. And so they like added me to this chat. They've been talking for years, been keeping in contact, and like this whole time I'm just like, oh, well, we're here doing my own thing, like. And so I get in this chat and I'm like, guys, what the fuck? I'm sorry. Like I didn't realize y'all were all still talking and shit. Is like actually, I'm remastering all of our songs, and they were like, no way. So they're like, there's like this like reunion like we're planning in January to like all get together. And,
Oh, that's beautiful.
yeah, I'm gonna have them on the pod. We're gonna do a podcast. Yeah, it's dope.
That's dope.
And just because I randomly got on Facebook one day and checked my messages. Wow. Yeah, I told him, I was like, guys, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't realize y'all been doing this for like 2 years. And like,
I just got like a surge of dopamine because I understand that level of.
The whole time I've been sitting here and I was just like, oh man, I guess these guys, you know, it was just like a thing in the past for them. They don't really think about it. No, they're still sitting there talking about it. Like, hey, remember when we did this? Blah 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 blah. And like, and it's cool because like they're all kind of still doing their own thing too and still playing music, and I don't know.
So that was like the first time you reconnected in how many years?
Mm-hmm. To as a group, like we've talked like individually, like, hey, what's up, you know, like likes on posts and shit. But like that was the first time we talked like as a group and like planned to like get back and like get the band back together, you know.
And how many years was it?
Oh, at least 10. Whoa. At least 10.
So it's like high school.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a trip, dude.
That's fucking crazy.
Everyone's like grown up, got kids now, and like it's weird. And another weird thing is like we all went military. All of us are in a different branch of the military. Like I went Navy.
You were in the Navy?
For a little while, and then side story.
What?
And then my homie went Marines. Parker's
didn't even know that.
Yeah, Parker's in the Army. Like it's a trip, dude.
What? You were in the fucking Navy?
For a very short time.
Dog.
That's why I don't talk about it.
That's insane to me.
And, dude, this is a deep onion.
Okay, we'll do it in another episode. That's
I'm
nuts, dog. Like that's a layer I didn't know. Like I'm literally
every time I drop that on people, they're like, "What?" I was in there for in total, I was probably about a year and a half.
All right. If you would have said 2 months, I would have been like, all right, fuck out of here.
Well,
a year and a half is a commitment.
That was a year and a half in the reserve. And then because I wasn't old enough to go to basic yet. Oh. So I was in high school in reserve.
Oh, you went
waiting.
Straight from high school to...
Dude, I'm talking month after I graduated. I was the youngest person in my division. I was 18 years old. It's surrounded by 40-year-old men.
Yeah.
And talk about like a wake-up call to reality, right? Because like you're just this 18-year-old kid. I was just a little skate rat and fucking just skateboarded, right? And then boot camp, right?
Ooh.
Like, I still like I can put myself there like mentally.
Yeah,
like I remember how I felt, and it was so
shit. I didn't
such an experience. But like went there. I'm trying to get this whole story right. So I was in reserves like a year and a half. Going like every Thursday, I'd go and meet with my recruiter and like work out with him and stuff and like just learn shit and blah 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 blah. Finally go to basic. I'm there for like a month and a half, about to graduate basic, and then we're running this drill, right? And we're like running. I end up tripping, smack my face on the ground. I hit my head so hard on the ground, I black out, and I get a concussion. I wake up in the back of an ambulance, and they're like, "Hey, you had a concussion. You're going to the hospital." And so I black out again, wake up in a hospital bed, and I'm at the hospital, and they're like, "Hey, you had a concussion, blah, 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 this is what's happening." Black out again, and then I come to, I'm in an MRI machine, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, well, you know, freak out, and have to do the whole thing again, and then finally get to a point where I'm, like, conscious enough to, like, them explain to me what's going on, and like, hey, basically, we don't take damaged goods, so you're going home, you're getting discharged out of the Navy. It's not an honorable discharge, it's not a dishonorable discharge, it's just a discharge, like you were never here.
Yeah.
That's why I don't talk about it. It's like you were never here, we're just getting you out of here, just go home. And to me, that right there was like the point where my life took a huge fucking turn. Because if I would have stayed right there in the military and stayed in that, and there's no telling what, I would not be doing music. I would not be fucking, I probably wouldn't have my kids. Me and Kinsey probably wouldn't be together. Yeah. It's that moment alone right there
changed your whole life.
Changed my entire life. And I came back and like I told all my friends, told all my family, I'm gonna be gone for 4 years, see y'all later. And I came back in 2 months. And they're all like, what are you doing here? So that was a weird fucking thing to like,
Process.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. It's just a weird fucking time because it was like a
What year was this?
2009,
Oh wow.
right out of high school.
Wow. Okay.
And then I came back, started my band. The year that's when our metal band started. When I got back from the military, we started doing our metal band, and then that kind of started my whole music career. When I think about it,
Have you ever thought about like your alternate self in another like timeline?
mm-hmm.
Like just like you said, there's a drastic event that changed your whole life, like completely in comparison to wherever your mind was and wherever you were focusing on in that period of time, right? And instead of going right, it went left.
like going in high school, like throughout high school, I was like, I'm going to military.
I couldn't even
that's what I'm
think
doing.
and see you as a military person, bro.
Shaved head, fucking. Yeah.
I could never in my mind picture that, bro. Like
Crazy, right?
that's
And the only reason I was doing it is because like every guy in my family went into the military. Oh. I'm the first one that didn't. Wow. So that was another fucking thing where I was like, oh, black sheep of the family. Like you're the one that didn't go.
right.
So I'm like the ultimate like hard left from everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That just kind of blew my like
It's a part that I just like. I don't really. It's just
nuts, bro.
yeah. Been in the military. Been to jail. Blah 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 blah. Blah.
This is crazy. I love podcasting. You just find out so much about your friends you didn't know until y'all get in front of a mic and a camera and start talking. Wow, bro.
It's really interesting though, because like I feel like that experience though, like those 2 months where I was in the military, a number for the government.
Right.
You are a fucking number. You are not a person anymore. You get there, you're a fucking number.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I remember that visceral feeling of being like, I got off the bus, I'm getting yelled at, and they immediately tell you you're nothing. They're just trying to break you down, right?
Of course.
And then so I meet that visceral feeling of like, no, fuck you, I am somebody. It just didn't fucking sit well with me. I didn't want to be a number. And so when I got my out, I was like, thank God.
Yeah.
I'm going home. Get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Could not wait.
I mean, shout outs to everybody that works in the military
Absolutely. More props to you.
and to the government and all that, but
It ain't
I
for me.
actually am happy you did that happen.
It's not for
It's like, because I would never have met you. You know, who knows where your life would have went. You might have had a little like baby mama in Tijuana. Who knows? But you know what I'm saying? Like,
knows, dude?
Yeah, I meet those people. What's interesting about military people, like when you meet them when they're older, they're still in the military.
Yeah.
Like they still
Militarized.
operate like that. Like it's kind of weird.
It's like someone who went to prison. They're institutionalized.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Like I work with a lot of military dudes, and they're very militant with a lot of things, but they're almost like NPCs. Like they have their own character, but they're still like
Yeah.
robotic. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, dog, I see how you play guitar. You're not robotic
Yeah.
at all.
I just remember that feeling so much of like telling myself I don't want to be a number. I don't like this. I don't like being a number. Because I'm just such like an independent like being. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like to just be part of I want to be the minority. I don't like being a majority.
Did I ever tell you about like my college experience in terms of like what I was gonna be versus what I was told to be?
What is it?
I was told to be a surgical technician.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a job, dude.
My grandpa was a surgical technician, saved a lot of people, saw a lot of people die. Super chain smoker, rode his bike every day.
So did you go to school at all for that? Or?
No,
No.
but I could have.
Yeah.
Or be a graphic designer. I went graphic designer because I started my own business in high school, customizing sneakers and clothing.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I want to learn how to do this digitally so that way I can have my own brand and my own business. And
And at the time, it wasn't it was like a new job. Graphic design was like a new job. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I didn't even know that was a thing until like
And now it's like so basic. You're just like, oh, everyone's a graphic.
everybody's a graphic designer, bro. But in that time period, it was like, okay, I'm in high school. I started printing out like sneaker templates and then doing different custom art on the sneaker templates, and so I had mad different shit. And then I was customizing people's art sneakers in school, and so it became a thing. And so I started posting it online. I made a Tumblr and a Facebook page for all my artwork, and I had a name and everything. And then I got business cards, and I was like handing them out to people. And then I was just like, yo, if you ever want some custom work, blah, blah, blah. So then when I went to college, my mom was like, yo, like your art is beautiful, but like do something that you're going to make money from, for real, for real. So she was like, you should be a surgical technician. Like, you're good with your hands. You're good with memorizing certain things. Like, do that.
I couldn't do that.
And I was like, fam, a surgical technician is like, you're right next to the person that is life or death when it comes to you needing to handle that certain utensil, to whether it be a scalpel or certain other things to help save this person's life. So you're battling that. Your empathy is zero.
Yeah, see, I couldn't do that.
And me personally, I was like, I don't want that.
Yeah.
I don't want that. And then I don't want to have the after effects of that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like people that travel for work and they never see their families. Now you're missing out on certain shit, but you don't care because everybody's taken care of financially, but emotionally, physically, you're absent. And I know myself. I'm like, I'm way too emotionally attuned to people and an empath to the point where I don't want to deal with that.
Dude, I work with an EMT at work, and he's like a part-time EMT, so he works with me and then does that at night.
Oh, wow.
Or like on the weekends and shit. And he told me that the suicide rate for EMTs is like super high because they see so much trauma.
Yeah.
And it just fucks them up.
Yeah.
They have I think it's like a 12-year life expectancy for EMTs.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't know that.
They see trauma after trauma after trauma. Dude, think about it. Like, he was telling me a story about, like, he's like, of course you get the suicides, of course you get the murders, but then you also get the ones where an uncle beat his son, and you got to go in there and see that shit.
So you're just processing constant.
You're processing constant trauma.
Oh, yeah, that's
after
a lot.
trauma after trauma, and like,
That's
I couldn't do it. I really couldn't. And he told me, he's like, yo, come on a ride along with me one time. I was like, fuck no, I ain't doing that.
What? Hell no. No, and I'm not just leisurely, just like, yeah, come ride with me and see some fucked up scenes potentially.
He's like, well, sometimes we don't do anything, and sometimes we're tourniqueting a wound, putting a tourniquet on an arm or something.
Well, that makes me think, dude, I just want to say, I miss podding with you. I really do. Because my brain is just going in so many different directions, but I do this at work all the time, and I'm just by myself or with coworkers. What's like some of the like normal everyday jobs that you probably would never even imagine is as crazy as it is? And in my opinion, like EMT is up there. Anybody that works in like hospitals, which shout outs to all the people that work in hospitals.
Think about like hazmat cleaners. They probably see some shit.
Bro, plumbers.
Oh yeah, no doubt, dude. There's some crazy. Yeah,
Literally,
dude. You want to hear a fucked up story?
Yes, that's what I'm here for.
So I had this plumber tell me about one time. So like, obviously you have like a clogged line. They go in there and they do it. It's called snaking it, and they run a machine down there, and it like
unclogs.
It runs a cable down there, and it unclogs the clog, right? Or whatever. When you pull that cable back, sometimes it pulls back whatever the clog was. All right. So this dude tells me about one time he pulled out a baby fetus.
I knew you were going there.
And apparently this lady had just had a miscarriage, flushed it, went down the toilet, and obviously that's a person, so you have to call the cops now.
Yeah.
So he had to call the cop. He had to he pull his thing out, realized what it was. He said he had to go out, smoke a cigarette, calm down a little bit, and then he called the cops and was like, hey, blah, 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 this is the situation. Cops showed up. I don't know what happened of it, but like that's like the most like graphic story I've ever heard, where like shit was found in a line,
Of course.
Of course you have the nasty stories, but like that's the one where I was like, ooh.
Mm-hmm. That's dark.
Didn't think of that.
That's dark.
Yeah.
That's very dark. I think about flight attendants because I've been flying my whole fucking life, but I met a flight attendant and I did some work with her in the past. It's like remodeling shit. And she was like, the crazy thing about flight attendants is 90% of them are chronic alcoholics because they're up and down all the day, all times. And they have really weird schedules. Like you're in the air for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and you go in some random state. You're chilling in a La Quinta Inn or a Motel 6, middle of nowhere. You're eating Taco Bell or Burger King or McDonald's, and then you're back on the flight the next day. And then you're back and forth, and you have very little time to be at home.
Yeah.
So it like fucks with you mentally, and you're meeting so many different people, so many different walks of life that you almost disassociate naturally.
You kind of have to, right? You can't give that much energy out.
I mean, but at the same time, you also have to say, hey, do you want peanuts or ginger ale, or do you want Coca-Cola, or you know what I'm saying? Like you have to be personable, but then not personable at the same time.
Yeah.
It's a weird reality when you're not in it, but you see it all the time. Like when you
I think
travel.
another one would be probably a studio engineer.
Oh my God.
They see some shit, dude.
I can never.
And then like people showing up with like
Respect to you, studio engineer.
people showing up with a gang of people.
It makes me.
Smoking out the room.
You know who's studio engineer? I want to shout out. Shout out Dustin.
Dude, he's the best.
Dustin has been putting on a show.
I am so like impressed with Dustin, dude. Musically, sonically, personally.
Yes.
As a person too. Like this dude's impressive.
Super impressive.
And like the song him and Connor just put out, did you hear that?
Yes.
The Christmas tree?
Yes. I saw the video.
Connor sent that to me before it came out, and I was like, dude, this is beautiful. Like, what the fuck? Y'all just did that like tonight? He was like, yeah.
I want them to put money in it. Like promote that bitch for real. Because I see it on my timeline all the time because I follow both of them, and like I interact with Dustin, so his stuff pops up on my feed more.
Yeah.
But like he's not even just an engineer. Like he is like a genuine article of a person.
Absolutely.
And a creative. Yeah. And shout outs to you, bro. Like
y'all check out Barbed Wire Fire.
Yes, Barbed Wire Fire. His journals are so inspiring. Like he makes having a family and being an artist look cool. like he genuinely
I
does.
like watching his home videos like that. It's really cool.
It's inspiring. I'm like, dang, like I hope I'm this cool when I grow up and get to that level. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's no cap. Like I respect him as a person, as an artist and an engineer, and he's been putting out some dope stuff too. Mm-hmm. Like
I haven't heard, and I mean this genuinely, I have not heard one song that I didn't like something in it. Not one.
Yeah.
And he's only on chapter 12.
Which is nuts, because it seems like there's way more than that, from what I've heard.
I don't... Artists like that, like I envy that, because I'm like, how do you fucking do that? Because I can only get in that state sometimes. It's not that flow state where you're just like producing and like where that engine is turning, you know what I mean? Like I can only get in that for so long, and then I gotta take a break, recharge again. But it just seems like he's just like boom, 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 and like makes the song, makes the video, and then he's recording the video, blah, 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 and then like, fuck. What tripped me out is like him and Connor made that Christmas song, and then the video came out the next day.
Yeah.
Like y'all recorded the video and the song in the same night.
Which is nuts.
It's crazy. Just how fast they do things. And I've told Connor this before, like how fast y'all do this shit just blows my mind, because I got to sit there and like develop shit.
I mean, the funny thing about it is like, even the song I sent you earlier today, I made that at like 10 in the morning. I found that sample a week ago, and I was just listening to it, and it was my day off. I'm just going through YouTube, and my algorithms is playing the things I like, and then I hear this song, and I'm like, oh, this sounds beautiful. Oh my God. So I saved it to my sample this later playlist that's private. Nobody can ever see it. It's like a fucking library on YouTube. But I was like, at some point, I'm going to dig into this. And there was 2 songs that I was going to dig into from the same band. And then today I'm just like, you know what? I'm at work. It's a 12-hour shift. I got nothing else to do. No episodes of any podcast that I listen to dropped. Now I got to work on Nymbus and do that.
Yeah.
Like I got, like you said, you got to switch that gear on and then drive it for a bit. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I was so hyped texting you, because I'm just like, bro, like I just make this shit like today, like and literally, so I'm chopping the sample up. And then I'm screen recording the whole thing, the whole process, because I was like, okay, this is gonna be another process episode. Yeah. I've been kind of quiet on that. Let me get into that, and I just made an Instagram page for it and all this other stuff. So I'm just like, all right.
You moved that to Discord, right?
Yeah.
Exclusively.
Kind of.
Y'all go check out the Discord. Or I mean, sorry, Patreon.
Not Patreon. Patreon. The reason I moved it to Patreon is because I didn't want to get demonetized from YouTube and have my stuff be silented and stuff of that nature. And I was like, it's long form content. You're going to hear the same sample 1,000 times. Like, I don't want to get dumbed down. But, shit, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, I hate when that happens. But when it comes to, like, producing something and getting into that mode and having that feeling of, oh, this is new. Like, it's like a dopamine high that is insane. And I wrote the verse and everything that you heard today. Like, I did that all this morning.
Nice.
Yeah. Like, I had no idea it was going to even be, like I said, I was screen recording the process of just chopping the beat up, chopping the sample up, putting the little here and there's. And then it went from that to, okay, all right, now I'm going to move into Band Lab. Now I was like, oh, I'm getting bars in my head coming to me on how I would attack it just from the first verse. It was like that cadence came into my mind. So I just started writing. Then I go to my car, get my Bluetooth headphones.
That's that flow state. That's what I'm talking about.
And it felt...
When you get in there...
Bruh.
That's what I'm talking about. I don't understand how people stay there.
All day, every day.
Every day. Because I can only get there sometimes, and like, but I'm getting to the point now where I can realize when I'm in it. Mm-hmm. For the longest time when I first started recording and stuff, I didn't really realize when I was in it, and like I would just be messing around. But now I'm like you said, shit just starts popping in your head, and you're like, oh shit,
yeah,
this is it. Like, stay in it, stay locked in for a minute, don't go anywhere for about 5 minutes, just stay here for a minute, just fucking lay it down, and then go do your shit. Because I'm starting to kind of realize it.
Yeah. Your awareness of it.
Yeah.
The funny part about it is, imagine recording something that isn't even done. Mm-hmm. Like, imagine recording the process of a new creation, but you don't know the end result.
Yeah.
And so now I have like mad recordings of like unfinished movements.
Dude, you know how many, like, because that's what I do. I jam to find the song. I call it chasing down a solo.
Okay.
So like there's a process to it. Like you literally have to like just chase it down and find where it's going, like chromatically and musically, and it takes the missed notes and the wrong notes and the misguided steps. It takes all that to find what you're looking for. And but I call it chasing down a solo, because it eventually gets to that point where you're like, okay, I got the rhythm down. Now I'm gonna lay a solo on it, or lay a lead onto it.
Right. Yeah. Or put some bass notes.
Or some bass on it.
Yeah. I mean, bro, like I'm telling you, this just happened today. I'm in the middle of recording how I'm gonna chop up this sample, where I'm gonna end it, where I'm gonna beginning, how slow it's gonna be, how fast it's gonna be. And then in the middle of recording, the screen recording, because I'm doing it all on my phone, I was like, this isn't right. Like, I'm not focused. Like, this is wrong. Like, I'm not doing it right. Like, and I had to stop the recording and just recalibrate my brain and be like, okay, this is what you're looking for. Yeah. This is where you want to end up. How are you going to do that? Don't focus on capturing it. Focus on just creating. And not pressuring yourself to make sure, okay, I've already been recording 1 minute and 50 seconds now. Oh, shit, I got to cut it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to have to edit later. Yeah. So I haven't been in that flow state in a long time. Like, since my car accident, I haven't made any songs. Yeah. I've been focusing on driving, life, getting to work, feeding my family. I don't give a fuck if I'm music.
I get
it. So imagine having all these things compile in your brain and your soul, and then you get that moment to release. And it's like, oh my God, this is fucking... Bro, I swear, I was making that sample, the sun came out. Same time. Yeah. Like, it was cloudy all morning. as soon as I started chopping the shit up and then I got into it, I was like, the skies cleared up.
We live in a simulation.
I swear to God, bro. we are definitely in a simulation.
This world is what you make it, man.
But in that moment, it felt right. In that moment, it felt like genuinely real. And I was like, I don't give a fuck if I record this or don't record it. I just want to feel this, you know?
I do that a lot, dude. I'll like I said, like, you know, I'll just put on a backtrack and jam to it. But like, I won't record a lot of it. It's just for me. It's just for me to, and it'll be sick. I'll wish I recorded it sometimes when I finally like come back to consciousness. I'm like step out of it. I'm like, oh fuck, why didn't I record that?
Yeah.
I hate that shit sometimes. I'm like, God. But I don't know when.
But that release still feels good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, because
So
when you're there and you're in it, you're not thinking about recording. You're not thinking about all the
extra components.
Yeah, you're not thinking about that.
It's a flow. It's a release. And I feel like we're blessed to have that, bro.
Absolutely.
Because I think about so many people that are like angry or mad about things that they can't control. Yeah. And they're so frustrated and they have to focus on the things that they're frustrated on. They have no release outside of food, sex, and taking a poop. Yeah. That's it.
I went to get coffee this morning and I recalled a conversation I had with an old friend a long time ago. And we were talking about, like, dude, I used to be a 100% skateboard rat. That's all I did, right? And I had this conversation with my friend Ryan, and one day, just a random conversation, and I was like, what do people do that don't skateboard? Like, what do they do in their free time? Like, I get you have your, like, life stuff, like laundry and eating and shit, but, like, what do you do in your free time if you don't skateboard?
Right.
It just blew my mind. Like people that don't have, like, hobbies and shit, like, what the fuck do you do?
Masturbate.
Fuck, I don't know what else you would do.
That was so inappropriate. But that was the first thing that came to my mind.
That's one thing to do.
Dude, I'm there with you. Like the guys I work with at work, they have no hobbies, no talent. They go to work, they go home, they might have a wife, they might be divorced, whatever.
Come to work and talk about the game on Monday. Yeah.
I think it's sports. Now that you just mentioned it,
that's what they have.
I genuinely think, no offense to anybody that's a sports
no
watcher.
offense at all. Huh.
The Cowboys just won today. Shout outs to y'all. But I genuinely think that they get engrossed in other people's hobbies and religions or fucking like their habits that's their thing.
Yeah.
You know? And that to me is mind blowing because I don't follow sports like that.
Me neither.
The only time I follow sports is when other people at work are talking about it. And I'm just like, oh, where the Cowboys play the game? Oh,
me too, dude.
Okay, they just beat the Commanders. Cool. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know enough about it, but I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, Dak is fucking killing it.
Yeah.
Like I don't care.
No.
I'm not that. And I'm more, and I'm sure you're the same way. We're more infatuated with artists and creatives than we are with like the sports broady people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That reminds me of a conversation I had with this guy when I was in jail.
Yo, this is the man of fucking.
So I was watching X Games in jail, right?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Y'all had X Games?
I was watching X Games, and I remember this old head. He was like, I'm watching it. Like, there's nothing else to do. I love skateboarding. I'm watching this. Yeah. I'm like in it, and I'm watching it. And this dude sees me. He's like, who gives a fuck if that guy can do a kickflip? And I turned to him and I was like, who gives a fuck if that dude can catch a ball 50 yards down the field? Who gives a fuck? I don't care. Yeah. Let me watch my shit. That just reminded me of that.
That is nuts. Yo. Jail is a funny place. I ain't even gonna get into my story behind just my stints. But man, God, this is crazy. I feel like I've learned so much about you in life in general. Like I'm still mind blown. My mind is still wrapping itself around like you were in the Navy for a period of time, or you were even like enlisted, or just did that whole process. Yeah, like
it trips me out when I think about it sometimes.
And my family kind of tried to convince me to go that route because I was a problem child in high school. Like, I got arrested and shit.
Though.
Hell no.
I can't see you doing that.
Hell no. I would have got an honorable discharge, dishonorable discharge.
On the way out.
Some fuck shit, for sure. Did you ever hear about when Jimi Hendrix was in the fucking military?
He got discharged, right?
He shot himself in the fucking foot, bro.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he was jumping out of airplanes.
That's what it was. He was an airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
He was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
Bow! Get out of here. Mm-hmm. Came back to America, was like getting shitted on. But yeah, that was like a real thing. I definitely would have went that route. For sure.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Or ended up in Tijuana with a random baby mama.
Just didn't come home.
I did not come home. I made a new one. But yeah, man. And I guess it brings me back to that question I asked you earlier in terms of like your alternate realities. Like I think about that sometimes. Like I think about the reality that I would have had before my car accident when I got in a coma and I was damn near dead. Like
that was a big pivotal change for you too, right?
1,000%. 1,000%, bro. Like the way I was living in 2012 to 2013 versus like after that, drastically different. And I had a completely different outlook on life, like as a whole. But I can only imagine that me versus the me that would have been a surgical technician versus a graphic designer.
Yeah.
Like I would be like suit and tie, all, you know what I'm saying? Like
Crazy is I don't even like open water, and I enlisted in the Navy.
that's what?
Yeah. I don't fuck with like the ocean and shit. Like I don't like water like that. Like it
For real?
freaks me the fuck out. I'm not getting on a yacht. I'm not getting on a fucking cruise.
You've never been on a boat, like boat.
been on a boat? Come on, dude.
But I'm saying like leisurely.
Yes, I've been on a boat,
Okay.
but I'm not getting on a cruise.
Really?
Nah, dude. No way. I'm not getting on a big ass boat in the middle of the fucking ocean. No way.
Wow.
Freaks me out.
What is it about the water?
I'm a land lover, dude. I swear, dude. Like I need some concrete. I need some ground. I'm not drowning, dude.
But okay, I get it.
And yeah, and then I enlisted in the Navy, and like I was gonna go out on like a ship for months at a time. Like
no
it
sense.
makes no sense, right?
Yeah, it's like you're enlisting yourself in torture for like years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, speaking of the water, did you hear that the government confirmed there's like aliens underwater and like they've been there forever?
No.
You didn't hear about that?
I don't.
I love that.
Disbelieve it.
This is why I love us kicking it, because our worlds are so different
Yeah.
and our timelines are kind of different but the same.
Right.
Bro, like, yeah, like,
So what is the alien
so-
organisms?
no.
What
They
is
got domes. They got like whole entire things down there, like civilization, like the suburbs underwater.
Hold on. I feel like this should be way bigger news than my homie telling me about it on a low budget podcast.
Bro, information is suppressed every
Where
day.
did you see this? Like,
It's if you YouTube it right now.
Really?
It's like current.
so they must have done like a
The government basically
hearing on it or something.
Yes,
and-
they came out and said, "Hey, we've known about X, Y, and Z. Or alien organisms have been living underwater. They've been there for a period of time, but we were only allowed to release this information after a period of time
Okay.
because." Remember when the balloon was floating in the air like a year ago? Maybe it feels like a year ago. It could have been 5 months ago. But there was like that weather balloon that turned out to be some secret technology that turned out to be, is it from China? Is it from Russia? We don't know. You know, that kind of conversation died down out of nowhere because people were more focused on Drake and Kendrick Lamar and all this other bullshit than like species living amongst us. So basically, the government came out and was like, listen, there are hybrid humanoids. They've been here. They've been in existence. And they also have been underwater for a period of time. There are people that actually went underwater and lived with them, cohabitated, probably procreated with this. And there's
What if the Titanic people went down there?
dog. What about the submarine dudes that just imploded out of
Talking about those
freaking
guys.
nowhere? Yeah.
Talking about, they're billionaires. Why wouldn't they have the money to
I mean, what's the best way to disappear? I died.
fake your own death?
still-
No bodies were found.
I'm still up.
Man. Just saying.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
How deep down you want to go down this hole?
yeah. So I don't know how you feel about aliens, but I always felt like aliens have been here for fucking
Dude,
forever.
100%. Octopuses are aliens. They are.
Yes.
They don't share any genome or like any kind of thing with anything in the world. They're an alien creature.
Yeah.
They change colors. They're fucking like, I don't know. They're smart.
They're freaking weird.
Yeah.
And they're very intelligent. But in my opinion, I feel like I read this book a long time ago about like genetics and human genetics. And it says that there's a percentage of our genetic code that isn't human. Everybody, like born after a certain period of time, we have a genetic code that is not human at all. You can't even trace where it came from.
Right.
So, in my opinion, I feel like we're all kind of spliced with a little bit of fucking weird DNA.
Well, that's the
just in my own freaky like tinfoil hat
So there's-
opinion.
All right, here we go.
Let's get into what's up with that bitch.
There's the stone ape theory, right? And then there's the Anunnaki theory, and then there's the Jesus Christ theory.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's the stone ape theory of like evolution and like monkeys ate mushrooms and that eventually expanded our mind and we developed in the human conscious as we know it. And then there's the Anunnaki story of like Anunnaki came from Sirius, which is the North Star basically, and implanted their DNA into basically mammal DNA and it created humans. And then you've got the Big Bang Jesus Christ story.
Right.
Which way are you falling on that?
Okay. My opinion. Jesus or the person that they called Jesus, in my opinion, was an alien hybrid.
Okay.
The alien hybrid basically had like the tools and the things that was passed on from his people, but he also was like a man of the people too.
Mm-hmm.
So he can kind of blend in with others, but he was still ostracized by the masses because he was not them. But he introduced the things that quote unquote aliens or the people that came before us, the civilizations that came before us, was just like, yo, this is how we can progress. Like medicine, things of that nature, things that came from the earth and the planet that was here before us, they cultivated that stuff. Mm-hmm. But when you think about like taxes, when you think about how people manage money and dictatorships and all those things, that had to come from higher up. Like, we didn't just come out of the fucking womb and was like, okay, I'm going to be a dictator. I'm going to be this. Like, there are certain systems that got to get taught.
See what you're saying, yeah?
In order for us to follow suit. But you also got to have, like, a big boss that dictates all this, because then it's chaos otherwise. So I genuinely go with, like, the Anunnaki theory a lot because it makes the most sense.
I think so.
And I've done so many deep dives where I was just like, that's definitely a higher possibility than fucking mammals or apes going and eating mushrooms and then magically getting a pineal gland, and then the pineal gland turns them into, and now we got Teslas. Like, no, like, nah, like the system of events happen differently in my opinion. But
so, dude,
that's a super long deep dive.
What's crazy is like I remember growing up, like I've always been really interested in just like the human history, right? And like there's a huge gap in it.
Yes.
And no one talks about that. I remember going in school being like, well, what about this time? What happened here? Mm-hmm. No one knows.
Yeah.
This is so fucking weird to me that there's just this huge gap in civilization. Like no one knows what the fuck happened. And that happens to be the same time when everything just blew the fuck up.
Magically.
That's odd.
Did you ever
Sounds
watch?
like something got implanted in.
Did you ever watch American Horror Stories?
Yeah. The first couple seasons.
Okay, so there's man, my girl got me into this shit. I personally wasn't fucking with it.
Same.
But there is a whole season around when the aliens came and infiltrated the United States government.
I think I remember that one.
And then they made a treaty with the government, like, yo, if you give us a certain amount of humans that we can procreate with, then we won't fuck y'all up. And like the government agreed because they were gonna get fucked up regardless. So then the aliens and the government basically cohabitated. The aliens took over the government. Now you got the president who's really a lizard, you know what I'm saying, with eyes and shit that blink different.
Yeah.
And they're running the country. And so then you got, you know, the main character is basically like this girl comes out of nowhere, but she ends up getting taken by the aliens and everything goes down. But I genuinely think like it's not far off. You know what I'm saying? Like if you think about it, the earth is way older than human civilization. We haven't been here that long in comparison to this rock that's been.
You ever think about like, not to like,
let's go.
Tangent. You ever think about extinction?
Of course.
How crazy of a concept that is.
I think we're close to it a lot.
Like we're
like closer than we actually think.
I think so too. And like, humans just don't exist. And then there's just a universe out here that just keeps on going, and there's nothing to observe it. And like, that's why I really lean on to like the, the simulation side, because like a computer program will just keep running,
right?
Even if no one's there to
dictate whether it's on or off.
Keep running.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you have situations where like you have a sunrise coming up when you're making a song and it changes your whole mood, and like just you have these real serendipitous moments like that where like I'm not sure if it's just like me and you are observers, we observe a lot.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's just because we're really in tune to observing things like that, or if it's just like really creating your environment. Because you're putting out, I mean, think about it. You're putting out an energy when you're doing that, right? You're putting out a dopamine. We call it dopamine.
Yeah.
We call it serotonin. But you're putting out an energy when you're sitting there doing that, right?
Of course.
And that's changing. It's buffering what's
your whole experience.
Yeah, it's buffering everything around you.
Mm-hmm.
Who says it couldn't create a sunrise for you that looks cool as shit? You know, even if it is just a timing thing, it might just be timing of it all, but.
I 1000% agree that your perspective and the things that you're going through dictates how you see life.
Yeah.
You know, like the fact that at the whatever time it was today, I started making a beat, and then when I hit that aha moment, the fucking clouds opened up.
Yeah.
That's something for me. Somebody who was probably working a terrible shift did not give a fuck about how the sun came through the clouds this morning. They were just happy to get home to their shitty life. You know what I'm saying? So it's all, like you said, perspective. But I definitely think, like, just in terms of life and how we look at it in simulation format, like, it's different, man. We can go crazy. I like digging into this shit though, because I usually spend so much time
like
on
when
YouTube.
when I've been thinking about things to do on the podcast, I've been wanting to get into this conversation. Like,
oh, for real?
Yeah. Because it's like the one lane we haven't gone down.
Yeah, which is surprising because we're both really far out.
Yeah. I think, and you know, they're all just opinions, and no one really knows what is, you know, but I think.
Would you even want to know?
I don't know. That'd be really daunting, wouldn't it? To know
Because
that
you still got to live with it.
Yeah, but what I was getting at is like I think like people like Jesus, Buddha, insert deity here. I don't know.
Of course.
They're all just enlightened creatures, enlightened beings that reach that level of, oh, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we're all one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is all just the universe observing itself, and everyone's the same thing. And if you listen, they're all preaching the same thing: universal oneness, right?
Yeah.
Singularity.
Mm-hmm.
Everything comes from one. And it just trips me out when I'm like, you're not connecting the dots. You're not seeing the correlation between stories. You're not seeing every religion has a great flood story. Every religion basically kind of says the same thing, just tweaked a little bit. Mm-hmm. How do people not see that for what it is, you know?
I think for the most part it's because we're taught to think about ourselves more than the greater picture.
That's true. Yeah.
And I had to take my head out of my own ass when I got in my accident and realized like it's bigger than me. It's not just about me. And I had to read books, things like I Am That, which is a very good book. It's like Hindu Buddhism. It talks about how man has like 3 different perspectives. You have your inner perspective, you have your higher perspective in terms of your brain, and then you have the highest perspective in terms of like the world around you.
The observer and the witness. Yeah.
So I was like, between that and then just how you breathe and how you intake life and then how people receive you.
Yeah, I got another book for you called The Denial of Death.
Ooh.
Denial of Death. It's a great fucking book, and it kind of like shaped how I fucking think about everything.
Okay.
And there's another book I read called Buddha's Nature, and I'm not Buddhist, but I really fuck with like how they see everything.
Interpret, yeah.
Interpret. That's a good word. I like how they interpret everything.
Mm-hmm.
And but that Buddha's Nature's book, I've read it like 3 times. It's just one of those where you don't got to take everything in it, but it makes you think, and I like the way it makes me think about things, and
Of course.
kind of switch your perspective on shit.
And what was the other one?
Denial of Death.
Denial of Death.
It's one of those. God, it's so weird how I came about this book too, because like I was watching this show, and then this dude just said to this woman, he's like, "I need you to understand how I think. Read this book." And so I was like, "Fuck, that really hit with me." And so I went and got the book, read it, and I was like, "Wow, this is incredible." Like I need to give this to someone. Say, "Read this. This is how I think."
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I want to check that out.
I've got it downstairs.
Oh, please.
I'll let you borrow it, dude.
All right, cool.
It's dope.
The I Am That book I found on the street randomly.
Really?
Yeah, I was on a date with a girl in Brooklyn. We were walking down the street. First time we kicked it, and there was a yard sale. But in New York, we don't have yards. We just got the fucking stoop in the ground.
A stoop sale.
So it was a stoop sale, and the dude had like mad books outside. Me and her talking. She's intellectual, so I'm just like, oh shit, like, let's go check this out, you know. And she was cool. And checked it out. This book is probably like this small, like it's a small book, bro.
Yeah.
But it just said I Am That in all red, and when you opened it up, the first page, which I'll never forget it says, mankind has spent hundreds of thousands of years trying to go to the moon, trying to go underwater, trying to, basically capitalize off the civilization of the world. But how much has man actually tried to venture into themselves and try to look into their own mind and try to look into why they breathe this way and certain things, how things connect to each other. We are so focused on the moon that we don't even look at our own selves and what makes us as people. And I was like, whoa, like that shit blew my mind. I was like off the preface, I was like, oh, all right, I'm getting this. Got it for $10 and I had it for years. And yeah, that was.
You ever read The 4 Agreements?
Yes.
That's a dope one too.
I have that at the crib.
I still got that one too.
Yeah. I actually like going back and reading it.
It's kind of stoic in itself, but like it's got some great points in it too.
1,000%.
There's just like certain books I feel like you have to read like to get a concept on life.
And also understand how to navigate life. Because whether it be about relationships or how you treat other people, like nobody has all the answers just on their own, you know.
It's a book that like changed your perspective, or just like changed something for you.
I would say, bro, like the most impactful book was I Am That, and then there was a book by Langston Hughes where he like went all across the country and he was like homeless for most of his life until he like kind of came up, but he like traveled around the world and met so many different people and like had this many different epiphanies where he was homeless, but he like found a way and figured it out. And I used to read books a lot when I was in like high school and like middle school and shit, because I was a weird kid and I didn't really like kick it with people. But though I can't remember the name of that. Langston Hughes is a great author, by the way. But
I know that name.
He's a very famous author. But yeah, that and I Am That. Because I Am That taught me not only about just like the outward awareness, but it also taught me the inner awareness. Like when you're anxious, for instance, you make certain movements and you breathe differently.
100%.
So naturally, when you're more anxious, that means you're not giving your brain enough oxygen because you're not allowing your brain to actually perceive what's going on around you. And so you start doing a nervous tic or you start doing certain things and your breathing changes versus like when you take a deep breath and just like process your it's called intentional breathing, I want to say. But it's basically like processing how long you breathe, how long you inhale, how long you exhale, things of that nature. And it's all functioning, bro. It's just like an engine in a car. Like your breath actually controls a lot of things in your body.
You can slow your heart rate down.
Exactly. So it's just certain shit like that.
You ever been at like the ER or something hooked up to the machine and like make your heart rate go down?
I mean, not intentionally.
I have. Because I'll be sitting there having a fucking panic attack, and you're like, all right, you got to calm down.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and watch the number drop, and just by
Right.
slowing down, taking some breaths.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can really do that.
Yeah. No, trust me, I'm a firm believer in it. Like after practicing it, I was like, oh, this is real. And I used to teach people how to like meditate without doing the
Because you don't have to do that.
You don't.
You don't have to do that.
You can meditate in real time and do certain things.
That flow state is meditating, and that's one thing that I was gonna say earlier. Is like I've made that correlation of like, because I used to do the meditating thing, and like when you snap back to reality, it's the same feeling I had when I snap back out of my guitar. And I'm like, oh, it's the same fucking state. It's the same thing. And so like I'm realizing it now. That's what I meant by like I'm realizing that now.
Yeah.
It's that same flow state. It's that same meditative state. Learn how, and it's getting easier for me to realize when I'm in it.
What's the last book that you read that like impacted you on a like a certain level?
So on like a deep level that I can remember, it was The Lost Symbol, and it's a Dan Brown book, and it's a prequel or sequel to Angels and Demons, and they made movies about it with Tom Hanks in it.
I was about to say, I feel like I remember.
Kind of cheesy movies, but the concept and the story of it is really cool. And it was the first book that like made me question God.
Okay.
Like on a deep level, where I was like, wait a minute, I think we are all kind of God. Like like in the Bible it says, "Know ye are gods."
Right.
You know, and I think people just got it kind of twisted. Like there isn't this all powerful being in there. Like we're all it. You know, and that was the first book that kind of made me think. But it's crazy because like the story of that book has nothing to do with that. It's like a murder mystery.
Really?
Yeah. And
oh wow.
but it gets into all these like symbolism, and like I'm really into symbolism and shit, and like just different languages and like all that kind of like hidden kind of like cryptic shit, you know, and it's full of that shit. And it's a really cool read.
That sounds like a dope read, actually.
It's tight.
Cool, man.
But then, of course, like when I was younger, you know, you had like The Outsiders. Like, I was really big into like S.E. Hinton, all her books, Rumblefish, all that shit. It's like just a leather jacket, fucking, you know,
I get
street
it.
rat
Greasers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. No, it's dope. I really, I don't know if you heard about this, but you know the literacy rate in America has gone down like tremendously. Like it's crazy. I know this pod is going all over the place. I don't even know where we're at on time. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm having a great time. But I really want to advocate people to read more, bro. Like
Kinsey reads a lot, dude.
Genuinely read more. My girl's been getting into audiobooks.
Yeah.
She will literally listen to audiobooks all day because her literacy is kind of weird.
I just can't do that. I'd rather sit there and read the book.
I like turning the pages.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be listening. I don't know.
It's almost like you're there, but you're not there.
You're not getting the full experience. It's kind of like passive.
Exactly. It's background noise.
Yeah.
You know, but I genuinely...
You really say you read that book if you listen to it?
No, because there's only so much you're going to recall.
Yeah.
Versus when you read some shit, like, bro, I read Harry Potter books. Like,
Yeah.
I was a nerd, for real, like in middle school.
I had this conversation with Kinsey the other day. It's like, do you know who still reads Harry Potter? Inmates.
Damn.
Because it's a really interesting read.
Yeah.
It keeps you engaged. They're thick.
Very.
Takes up a lot of time.
But they're easy to read,
They're
though.
easy to read. So Inmates, they got a lot of time, a low literacy rate. Like I'm telling you, dude, that's where they're all at.
That's crazy. Motherfucking Cell Block C versus reading the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
That is
Hey, you
nuts.
doing with Goblet of Fire?
Yo.
Pass that down here.
Yo, Voldemort was wilding, nigga.
Dude, they're making a series of it now.
You know what's weird? I can't get into the new Harry Potter shit.
Yeah.
Like the new movies, all the new spin-offs, like I can't. Like
I didn't watch any of the spinoffs.
yeah, the Beast, all the Magic
No,
Beast.
I didn't watch
whatever
any of that.
Bro, I don't know what was the last Harry Potter, but after the last one, I was done. I was cool.
I was in the Navy when the last one came out. I remember watching it at basic because before I got sent home, they put me in this like weird holding pattern for 2 weeks, and I had to sit in a barrack with other people being discharged.
For 2 weeks?
2 weeks. I'm just in there reading books, just fucking passing time, dude, for 2 fucking weeks.
Wait, you couldn't go nowhere?
Couldn't leave. I was
that's weird.
being discharged, and it's a 2-week process for them to paperwork,
Yeah.
book all your flights, all that shit. Yeah, it was a 2-week process.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was reading mad books during that time.
Yo, you made it out, bro.
Yeah,
Dead ass. Like I can't even imagine. Just knowing you as a person, like I can't even see that for you.
I don't either. I think about it all the time. Like what a mistake that was. Like just going that route in the first.
You would look different.
100%.
Like you would legit, like physically look different.
I think I'd probably have a little more muscle on me.
A lot of muscle, a bigger beard, shaved head, and like none of that.
Yeah.
Like you literally would just.
Wouldn't dress like I'm 20.
I mean, bro, I love how we dress right now. I feel like we're very casual.
I have people at work tell me all the time, like, you look so young. And I'm like, it's just because how I dress. I just dress like I'm in high school.
It ain't just that, though. It's your spirit, too.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure you've seen 30-something-year-olds that didn't look 30. They look like 40.
Oh, yeah, they look run down. Dude, some people I go to high school now are bald.
Dog.
I'm talking full bald, like no hair. Like, what happened to you? You look like you got cancer.
Yeah.
Wild to me.
A lot of people are my age. They look way older than me. And then we'll talk, and then I'm like, damn, like you got a mortgage, you got a house, kids, all that. But you look like physically 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
And I still, if I shaved, I still look like I just got out of high school.
Dude, I'm scared to shave my face. I'm so baby-faced.
I don't even know what you look like with
I've had a beard for 12, 13 years now. I haven't shaved my beard in that long.
Dog, my barber took my mustache down a little too light.
Yeah.
Last time I got a haircut, and it barely looked like I had a mustache. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, yo, my girl's looking at me weird. And I was just like, man, just stop looking at me. It's like,
You seen
I
those?
know.
You seen those videos of like kids shave or their parents shave their beard, and the kids are like,
I don't know who the fuck you are. Yeah.
That's
Yo,
funny.
would your girl get mad at you if you shaved your face
Probably.
completely?
Probably.
My girl got mad at me.
Yeah, she'd be like, what the fuck?
Like when me and my girl first kind of started dating, I did the full clean. Like, mind you, I had a beard when she met me.
Yeah.
So one day I was like,
You did
man.
used to have it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time we met, I had gotten that clean shave. I didn't have shit on my face. Our first
That's
podcast.
right. You didn't have anything.
I didn't
You
have
totally-
nothing. I was completely bald face.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn, I just had a weird throwback. But yeah, my girl hated me in that time period. She was like, oh my God, you look so weird. Like, and the weird part about it is her roommate was like, oh my gosh, you look so fucking good. And I was like, bitch, get the fuck out of my face. But that was like a telltale sign. Okay, I can never let go of the goatee like ever again.
I couldn't do it.
I get scared.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just funny even thinking about it. Cause like I don't know if you ever watched Family Guy back in the day. Tom Tucker.
He shaved his mustache.
Yes, and he was,
Like, my lips are cold. Hell yeah.
classic. Fucking classic, man. Oh my God. I feel like there's so much still to touch on, but I know we ain't got time to edit all this shit. But
Now that it's like this, it's so easy for me to edit stuff.
really?
Like, I can, because I've got it just makes it so much easier doing it like this, the way that we do it now.
I love the
'Cause
orientation.
all I have to do is just doop, doop, and drop the audio on. So much easier.
Really?
Yeah, because like when I was using that camera for the wide shot,
Yeah.
it breaks in every 15 minutes. So I'm having to reset audio every 15 minutes in a clip, and
match it up
That's
with
the part that takes me forever.
'Cause you got to match it up with the visual.
Perfectly. You can't have it off by even a millisecond, or someone's gonna say something. So I'm sitting there, and what fucks me up is sometimes I'll sit there and I'll be listening to it so long, I don't trust my ears, so I have to like get away from it for a minute, and I'm like, wait a minute, because I'll be looking at it, and I'm like, wait, the lips don't match, and then I start fucking with myself, and then I'll come back to it the next day and be like, what did you just do? This isn't right at all. God. You know when you listen to your mix so long and it like gets worse after?
Let me tell you a very similar scenario that just happened to me. I released the episode of The Process with a beat. I uploaded everything. I am watching the episode on my phone. It looks perfect. I go on my PlayStation and I blow it up on the big screen. That shit looks like I was watching it from my phone.
It's pixelated.
No. The aspect ratio was a phone.
No.
So you're seeing a big screen and it's like blanked out around this little phone screen.
Oh my God.
And
how do you fix that?
You can't. You gotta delete that bitch and then re-upload it. But here's the thing. The way I was editing everything was on my phone. Yeah. So I edited all the visuals, all the post audio content, everything. And then I attached multiple visuals with that whole shit. But it was like it was meant for TikTok, Instagram, all that. It wasn't built for the aspect ratio of YouTube, which is like a big wide rectangle. So when you're going in these apps, it'll ask you like aspect ratio size. So when you try to change that, say for instance, if it was a phone screen, now it has to be a big screen. Now I gotta explode every screen that was attached to that. So imagine having to edit 3 to 4 different screens to maximize that. Now you got like a pixelated super.
God, there's got to be an easier way to do that.
Oh, I'm doing it retarded. This is like low budget.
Get it done.
Just get it done, get it out there shit. But I was talking to my boy about it the other day because he shot some promo for his clothing brand. And I was just like, bro, aspect ratio is a motherfucker. And he was like, yeah, I just learned what that means. Like the other day, like he was shooting content. And I was like, yeah, like, I almost want to take down a video that it took days to fucking like edit, record, do the visuals, do the post production, add the little shit, and then I was like I don't even care no more. I didn't give a fuck no more. I was like, man, it's gonna stay up because a large majority of the people, consumers, are watching it from here. Yeah. If they're dedicated, they're gonna watch it on their TV or their laptop. But for the most part, it's the phone.
Mm-hmm. That's the same conclusion I came to with like I think I told you about. I found that audio I thought I lost of that.
Oh yeah.
A ton episode.
I was going to say I
don't think I'm gonna redo it. I think I might just let it be. It's cool. Maybe if I like don't have anything to do one day and I'm just like really bored and
you feel like sifting through an hour and a half.
When I could be working on something new. Yeah.
It goes back to posting old clips.
Yeah.
That whole conversation is like, dog.
I'm getting better at that, though. I'm starting to come around to, like, finding old stuff to post.
Well, the thing...
Especially for TikTok.
I noticed you started the TikTok and started kind of adding stuff in there.
I'll just post whatever on there.
And the funny thing about it is TikTok gets way more views.
That's why.
Way more
That's why I don't... And, like, I feel like with Instagram, you kind of have to play into their algorithm. To some degree.
I feel like you got to pay into their algorithm at this point.
But like if you can find your flow in it, but like with TikTok, you ain't got to have a flow. You can just post that shit, come back to it 2 days later, and it blew up. And like, I don't know, I feel like Instagram, you got to sit there and baby it.
Yes.
Throw it on the story. Repost it the next day. Throw it on the story again. Tag someone in
Interact
it.
with other
Comment.
people's.
That's what I'm saying. With the TikTok, throw it up and it's gone. And it's already being suggested and all that other shit. You don't got to build the traction up with it like you do in Instagram.
It just naturally comes.
It's just there.
And I think that's the kicker behind why people are so addicted to it, because it's way more of a reward system, like a big reward. Like, I could show you a video on TikTok right now that has like 29,000 fucking views.
It's a dopamine app.
Yeah. But I don't know any of these people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have like 59 followers on TikTok. Like, it's a very small amount in comparison to how much reach it gets.
Dude, I have a friend who's just
And it's weird to me.
I got a friend who he just posts car videos. He's got one that's got like 1.2 million views on it, and he just posts. He's just a random guy like us, and just posting random shit, and it just blew the fuck up.
That's why I started monetizing on that motherfucker, because I was like, damn, like, I didn't realize I was kind of shooting myself in the foot with this app, but at the same time, I still don't subscribe to the app. Like, I'm not on TikTok, like looking at videos or mindlessly scrolling, because I just see how that looks, and I'm like, I'm not cool with that.
Everyone in my office, they're on TikTok all day long.
My bosses are.
Just scrolling. I can't do it, dude. I'm gonna watch a movie or something.
Yeah, I need long form content.
Yeah.
I don't want it. All right, I can't even do that on Instagram no more. Like, it doesn't.
I can't even like focus on my job and do this at the same time. Like,
You know,
I don't
even if I'm still, I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm just still at the crib or whatever, I don't want to just mindlessly scroll. Like, there's just mad different information that my brain's trying to process, and it's just not for me. But if it's for you, shout out to you. It's cool. Subscribe to the What's Up With That TikTok, because there's going to be a lot more content getting posted on there. Combined with that, man, we got a lot of shit coming out. Like, I think collectively, between you and I. Oh, God, there was one question I had to ask you before we end this pod.
let's do it.
And I mentioned this to you like months ago, so I know you'll remember, even if you don't have an answer, which is cool. Now that you're releasing music and you're pushing your own like personal content out there musically, what's an album? It can either be an album or a song that's your magnum opus, like in terms of like, yo, if I put some shit out and it's the best thing I ever made, it has to equal this.
Oh yeah, yeah. We talked about this. Man,
And I know it's not an easy question.
it's not, because there's a lot of things that like influence me differently. You know.
Right. And sometimes, just to give you help, like, because I have this question coming to my mind a lot, like, it doesn't necessarily be how much the album sold or the super impact that it had on the world. It could just be what impacted you in your listening experience. Like, for me, there's a couple albums that I listen to even to this day, and I'm just like, God.
I think I have more songs, like
Which is
like
fine.
tracks rather than I don't know why this one keeps coming to my head, but Atmosphere, God's Bathroom Floor.
Okay.
That's one track that I listen to. Like, that song right there, like, I don't know what it is about that song, but that one will like calm me down. That one will put me in that if I just want to listen to a song and just like chill out and put that on.
Okay.
God's Bathroom Floor,
Atmosphere.
Atmosphere.
I'm going to check it out.
But that's like I would never hold myself to that though.
But it's still something that impacted
It
you.
inspires me, and yeah, it definitely impacted me, absolutely. But I think if something that I would like want to be on par with, Linkin Park,
Okay.
Meteora, that whole album is incredible. It's one of those like it's one of the albums I listen to front to back. Like one of the first ones I did that with, and like repetitively, and like it's just like the soundtrack to my life. Like,
You lived with it.
lived with it, dude, and like I don't know, that's probably the one.
Okay.
I think.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Another one would be Sum 41, Chuck.
Damn, I haven't heard that band in
Yeah,
a
they
long
just
time.
broke up like last month.
Really?
Yeah, they decided to end their career on a high note and break it up. Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather that than like the opposite of it.
Right.
Which is everybody hates.
What's
each
crazy is a lot of punk bands do that, and I consider them a punk band. A lot of punk bands do that. They'll just call it quits before it gets weird. Yeah, you know. But those two albums right there, those are the two
other.
that
A cat?
sounded like it.
You don't have a cat.
Dude, last night I've got a cat. Last
You
night,
have a cat?
Yeah, yeah. You've seen my cat running around here.
Dog. No.
I've got a cat. Yes.
Motherfucker got a cat and was in the Navy. This is a whole nother motherfucker I'm leaving today. That's crazy. Maybe I have, and I just don't, I rarely see it.
I'm pretty sure you've seen
But
it.
I swear I did not know that.
She just hides all the time.
I always see the dog.
Yeah. She's in your face all the time, but the cat hides.
That's cat behavior.
There was a cat fight last night that woke me up. Like outside, you know, they were going at it, dude.
Yeah. Nah, suburb cats are different. Because they have homes, but they still be wanting to be outside. Back to the music conversation, I would say it's weird. Go ahead.
What are you putting out next?
Next?
Yeah.
I don't even fucking know. I really don't. Because since the last time we talked, I've been kind of back and forth between two different albums.
Yeah.
I have what I would consider my magnum opus, and then I have like a passion project that is going to turn into my like directorial debut in terms of like, it's going to be a short film, and I already have the concept for the film.
It's cool.
From the first song to the last song. It's all going to be a continuous story. And I can't say too much about it right now on film, but I'll tell you about it later. But that has become my focus more than the shit I've been working on for 2 years.
Yeah.
So I'm mad about it because I'm just like, damn, I need to finish this before I dive into this, because I already can see the videos and the story layout for this short film that's only going to be 3 songs versus this side A, side B album, like double album.
Yeah.
That shit has been in the works and written for 2
Dude,
years.
I used to like always wonder, like when I was like a fan of, before I was like a creator of it, I used to always wonder what takes so long to make these fucking albums. Why does it take like Axl Rose took 10 years to make Chinese Democracy, and like that's a fucking rock album, but
Yeah.
he took 10 years to make it, and like everyone was like on his ass about like, when you putting this album out, and like I get it now.
Yeah.
Because you get your attention pulled in so many different ways, and then it's hard to come back to that space and stay in that space when you're already
Ahead of it.
Yeah, I get that a lot.
Yeah. For me, is like I lived with these creations for so long that I'm bored of them.
Yeah.
And the short term is called demoitis,
Yep.
where you've heard your demos, you've heard your ideas 1,000 times, you've repeated them to yourself 1,000 times. Now you found some new things that you like or that you're inspired by, and so it's like, man, fuck them shits.
Yeah.
I don't care. But the song I made today is gonna be on that album that I didn't care about no more, because it's just like, it was one of those things where it fit. It sounds like current with it. It's in that same vibe, but.
Maybe that's what it took to find that song. You know, you had to go and do that whole another side quest.
Yeah, but I want to finish the quest.
I get it, dude. Because I've got so many, like, now that I've started recording, the demo list is getting long, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm losing track of all of them. And like, I'm trying to make a file system in my phone. Like, I'm like tagging them all different, like, so I don't fucking lose them. Because I see it. I see the avalanche coming of like lost ideas that just
go by the wayside.
Go wherever and like never get used.
Like Miles Away. You text me about that song.
Yeah.
And I made
started
that
writing to that, dude.
3 or 4 years ago,
Yeah.
bro. And you made me remember it, and I was like, damn. And then I went through all of my catalog of demos, and I was just like, it's just 4 years old.
Yeah. But I get it now. I get what takes so long, because you start doing other things, and you didn't
I
finish.
hate the glaze, but I wish I was Dustin. Like, I wish I could just just do this creative shit all day, every fucking day.
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, that's the thing, dude. That's his job.
Yeah.
So he's got nothing but time to do that and develop that craft.
Yeah. So
We're not fortunate in that aspect. But
maybe we
to
will
his
be at some
credit-
point in time.
To his credit, he took that dive. He said, I'm going to do this and make this my fucking career.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
I couldn't personally. Not right now. Personally. Like I would have to be in a whole nother state of mind. I probably had to be single. Like I would have to be like super what's the word I'm looking for? Selfish.
Yeah.
I would have to be super selfish. Like cut everything. Not everybody,
focus.
but just focus on me and not have to deal with other people's emotions. Like right now, I just looked at the time on your phone and I was like, damn, I got to be home soon because my girl is like, yo, what's up? Yeah. You've been off for fucking 3 hours. Like, but if I didn't have to do that, I'm like, all right, bro, we about to jam after this pod and then we're going to make some music and then we're going to record. You know what I mean? Like it's completely different life. So,
And that's what they do. Because I went to a session with Connor and Dustin about a month ago. Yeah. I went to Dustin's house, and first off, he's 40 minutes away. He lives far Oak Cliff. He calls his studio Far From Home Studio. Okay. For that reason, because it's far. Yeah. Went there. We're fucking playing. The whole time we're there, I love Dustin, don't get me wrong. Like, but he's got other people coming in for sessions and stuff. And so we're just sitting there waiting. It's all good, no worries. We're just sitting there waiting. I'm there till 4 a.m. I gotta go to work in the morning. So I'm like, guys, I gotta go. I gotta wake up in.
You gotta wake up in like 2 hours.
Take an Uber home. I get home at like 4:30 in the morning. Crash. Wake up at 5:45. Go to work. It was wild. But him and Connor banged out a song that night. Wow. That's what I'm saying. So they have the time to sit there and do that. Mm-hmm. Where we gotta go fucking work. Yeah.
Or find time in between the time.
I love that for him. Don't get me wrong, guys. I love that for y'all. Like, I just wish I could do it.
Yeah, I wish bro.
I'm envious of it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I wish I had that ability. Like, and I know it goes back to the conversation we were having about like alternate selves. I've seen my alternate self already as the musician that just went all the way, and it doesn't look good. Like, it just doesn't. Yeah. And I'm realistically being like honest and vulnerable about it. I wouldn't want that for me. Yeah. But I love it at the same time, which is kind of like a conundrum because there's just like, you know what that leads to, but you still get like a high off of it.
One thing I always,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I always find myself circling back to this. We kind of already live that life. Because we live duality lives of like job and artist, you know? So like we kind of already live that like rock star life a little bit when we turn it on, right? And a lot of people don't do that. They're just very much themselves and don't have another life, another like avatar that they play. Yeah, you know? Yeah. We have a whole character that we play outside of.
Oh, for sure.
You know, just ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, there's Nick Martin. Yeah. And then there's just Nick. Yeah. And there's two different people.
Oh, absolutely.
I've seen your character come out when you play, bro. And it's funny because you're so serious. Like, I'm not trying to glaze, but he's a badass guitar player. And he's very calm and cool, collective, and soft-spoken. But this motherfucker cold. So I was like, I saw you perform live, and I'm like, damn, like, I'm kind of fanning out right now. Like, this is weird. Like, but just watching that come out of you, and then you like get into it, but then you still have this like telepathic communication with the rest of the band, which always bugs me out how y'all do that.
I love that. That's my favorite part. We can all just look at each other and
know.
And
that's like when I saw it in real time, I was like, oh.
It's because we all know the song so well.
Yeah.
We know like we kind of know where we make mistakes and like how to correct it, so we can just kind of like give each other the nod, or like one thing. Me and Dylan do, like, who's gonna start the song? I'll be like, me or you. We'll just kind of nod at each other, and he'll just give me the finger, like, you start.
You take the lead, and I'll follow through. Nice.
I love that. I guess that's one of the things about being in a band. Like, I really missed when I wasn't in a band. Yeah. Is that moment when you're all like 3/4 of the way into the song, and everyone's just in that pocket. And you're all just like, I call it just floating. You're all just in that float.
Yeah.
And you're not like think of anything really. You're just in it, and everyone is in that same vibe and that same just like there's an energy there. Like, and you don't feel it until you're in it right there, and immediately when it stops, it goes away, and you're left with this feeling of like, whoa, where'd that go? I need that again. And then that's what keeps the addiction of like, hey, let's play another jam.
Yeah.
One more song. Like, let's keep going, because you're trying to get back to that like
that state. And that's kind of how I feel when we pod.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing.
To be honest with you, like just these conversations, how we bounce in and out of different topics and just vibe out, and it's a conversation. It's not fucking scripted or formulated to the T. That's beautiful though.
But I think about that a lot. Like, we're so fortunate in the fact that like we can do things like this and still live kind of our alter ego life, and but we still have our like home life too. But then if you think about it, the people that are living that life that we look up to, they don't get the duality.
That's true.
They only get the one side, so they
can't take the cape off.
They can't take the cape off, so they're sitting there. They don't get the family life like we do.
Right.
They don't. So we get both the best worlds, and I have to remind myself of that sometimes. So like, look, dude, you might not be a fucking rock star like you want to be, but you've got this beautiful family at home too.
Which they don't. Typically,
because you're having to make that trade.
Yep.
I don't have to make that trade. I get both, but it comes with a tax of I'm tired as fuck.
You're spent in different directions versus just one singular direction.
And I know that if I just stopped all the music and stopped all the podcasts, I could focus and
holy shit, I just had a thought. I'm sorry, I hate to cut you off. What does your altered rock star life look like?
I'm definitely in a metal band.
Okay.
I'm definitely in a metal band because metal, that's just what I like that. I like a metal concert. If you ever go to a metal concert, it's not like a rock concert or like a rap concert. A metal concert is really intense and heavy, and like you leave with a feeling of like something just happened.
Okay.
I think
what kind of car are you driving? Successful metal band Nick. What kind of car are you driving?
Aston Martin.
Okay. Oh God. You gonna take it up there?
We're going.
All right, James Bond.
We're going. We're going. Aston Martin. That's like dream car.
Old school or new school?
New school.
Okay, cool.
School,
you want the technology?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I do like a Dodge Viper. Dodge Vipers are sick. Just for like a race car,
That old Viper though, that motherfucker. Ooh. That old '90s one.
I think I'd still be living in Texas though.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be hard.
I could see you in like Austin.
Yeah, I want to live in Austin.
Yeah.
If Austin or Nashville, Tennessee, Tennessee is probably the only other place like I could see myself living. Just because of the music scene.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It'd be hard to get me out of Texas though.
Shit, it's hard for me to get out of Texas now. I'd be looking around the rest of the world. I'm like, I'm kind of better off here than everywhere else, especially now.
Yeah, no shit.
But it's always interesting to entertain that part of our brains, like what the different realities we could be living. But I think you made a great point, and it made me think about the last show I almost had, which I'm not going to talk about here because it would make me...
The one with Audieme? You
Yes.
did that one, right? Okay, we'll talk about it later.
You see, we just had that telepathic connection.
Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, man, like I had a moment during that show where I was like, I don't care if I perform at this point. It's my last time with my girl. She's gonna be gone for a week. She's going on vacation. Fuck this show. Like fuck everything that I thought I was gonna do tonight. I'd rather just go home and kick it with my girl.
Nothing wrong with that.
That's what I did.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
When you feel the vibe, you know. When you know, you know.
Oh, of course. Of course. But there's certain people that live for that moment, that live to be on stage, that live to perform some shit that they've been thinking about at work for fucking weeks or months, and then they get that one time to release it, and whether it's good or not, it's like that's all they care about. And in that moment in time, I was just like, I'm good with just being home. I actually enjoyed just watching other people perform and go
That's kind of how I
crazy.
am too. I like to watch people perform.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I got footage and all types of stuff. I took somebody's stabilizer and literally like put my phone on it and just like had the tripod. And then the dude walked up to me and was like, "Yo, bro, like your drip is cool, man. You look cool, man. But that's my bro's stabilizer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna need that back." And I was like, "Oh, this is yours? Oh man, my bad, bro.
Here you go.
I just saw it. It was just there. That shit was alone by itself. Like, imagine having that tripod with no camera on it in the middle of a fucking stage.
Yeah, I'm gonna use it.
I'm gonna use that shit. Like, whatever." So he comes up to me, super cool. I mean, grills top and bottom, like super cool. You know what I'm saying? And me and him played it off like there was no problem. And then I came back and talked to my girl about it, and I was like, "Yo, like, homie just pressed me." And she was like, "Wait, what? Why did you do that?"
I'm gonna need that back.
And mind you, that was his boy's tripod. Like, it wasn't even his. Like, but he had brought those dudes here from out of town. Like, they were not, you know what I'm saying? But long story short, man, I like having the duality.
Yeah.
Sometimes I hate the basic, I call it your Clark Kent versus your Superman.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love being Superman, there's times where I just enjoy being Clark Kent.
100%, dude. I mean, you see it. There's times where I just
And the people that are Superman all the fucking time, they wish they could be Clark Kent sometimes.
they want to turn it off every now and then.
They do.
Yeah.
They want to be regular. That's why they make Finstas. That's why they make fake Twitters.
Big Baby Gucci. He just made a fucking fake account the other day, like just because he wants to he said something like, "I just want to talk and not be regulated."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or governed every single time you make something or put something out there. Like I made a whole nother page just for music, and I'm about to take all my personal life off of Instagram. And literally, it's like, if it's Nymbus, it's just Nymbus. It's not the other me.
Yeah.
You know?
Get that.
And I think that's important. I think
That's
it's
kind of what I do with the podcast and my own. You know, they're separate.
yeah. 27 is different than what's up with that.
100%.
Even the frequency of you posting is
Yeah.
different tremendously. But I like that. I think it's good to cut off, and I think it's not advocated enough. And that we can close it here. I want to say to the people, the audience, have something for yourself that you don't even need to post on the internet.
Oh yeah.
And enjoy that and enjoy it and like really take it in, because there's a lot of people that are pushed to post every single moment of their lives and their families and all these other things, and it's like we don't even want that. We're not asking for it. So keep something to yourself that is sacred and harness that and just nurture it, because everything ain't meant for the internet, bro. For real.
I was playing guitar way before I started posting it. It was just for me. Yeah. Yeah, dude. I think it's good to remind yourself of that duality, you know, because I know I'll get in my head sometimes. I'm just like, fuck, dude, I've been doing this for so long. Like, wish something would just break, you know, like, wish someone would give me like an opportunity. But then I remind myself, it's like, man, you created every opportunity you've ever had, you know? So, like, why not just
True.
quit freaking out about what's not happening and just enjoy the now, what you got, because you got the best of both worlds.
Dude, in my opinion, the Nick that I know as a dad looks cool as hell. Like, dog, the way you are with your daughter and the way you are with your son and the way you are with your wife and the way you are with your home and then everything else that you do, it's like, it's cool to watch. Kind of similar to
Like Dustin, right? Yeah.
And he does it way more, like in terms of like capturing the moments.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you don't like, you kind of have to force yourself to be like, all right, let me take a picture or a video of this versus like just he's like
Dustin's just like
yeah,
this.
he's robotically inclined. Like his shit.
He's like, what?
All right. In Iron Man, you know how there's War Machine and he has like the shit attached to his arm?
Yeah.
That's his like VHS camera. It's attached to Dustin. I swear to God.
He literally does wear it.
He's got a prosthetic.
Yeah.
It's not an arm. That's a camera. But
I hope he keeps doing that shit for a long time.
dog, he just posted a Dell laptop today on his story.
Saw that.
And I was about to respond to him and be like, where the fuck did you find this?
Yeah.
What Goodwill did you go to find this? But me and him just be chatting every now and then, man. Yeah, it's beautiful to see that, man, and have that. And so I encourage you just as much as I encourage the rest of our audience and myself. Enjoy it, man. Enjoy it.
We're in the middle of it right now, and it's hard to realize that when you're in the middle of it. But like we're in the middle of like our young adult life.
Yeah,
You
about
know?
to be 33.
Hmm.
And it feels weird because I'm like letting go of my 20s
Yeah.
still.
I'm reaching that age now where I like. What perpetual age is your mom? Like she did. Like my mom is like always 35 to me. I don't know why.
Oh, that's a good question. My mom's like, it's weird because I grew up with her.
I grew up with my mom too, and
Like-
she's always just seemed like 35 to me.
My mom was the oldest in her family. I have like 7 kids.
Okay, so she's always been older.
So she's the OG.
Yeah.
But I feel like the 35 to 40-year-old
And
mom.
I'm reaching that age now, and so I'm trying to like get into my mom's headspace, so like how she was thinking because I'm at that age now.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of like, I don't know shit.
Do you ever have conversations about that? Because, oh my God, we're about to go into a whole nother pod.
with my mom?
Yeah, in general.
We don't talk much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, like, my mom and I don't talk to my dad, like,
Yeah.
at all, for real.
Yeah.
Like, at all. But sometimes I think about it, like, what were they doing when they were 32, 33?
Your age now.
Trying to figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, how are they
Just
navigating
knowing
life?
how much you don't know.
Oh, my God, yeah.
You know, because when you're a kid, it seemed like your parents have it all figured out.
Well, yeah, they're putting up that front.
Yeah.
Just to make sure you feel like you're calm and taken care of and secure.
I heard this story one time about a dude who, I don't know why this sticks with me, but I think about it every now and then. But like this dude was telling the story about how he was in the truck with his dad and it was like a blizzard outside, couldn't see 2 feet past where they're driving, right?
Yeah.
He was talking about how his dad didn't look scared at all, just driving straight through it. And then years later, he brings up that to his dad, and his dad says, "Dude, I was scared as fuck. What are you talking about? I was sitting there white knuckling the thing." He's like, "You thinking I'm Superman in that shit? I was scared as fuck." So like, it's just a different perspective when when you're a kid, you think they're Superman, but really inside they're just internalizing it all. Like, oh God, I don't want to wreck this truck
And kill me and my
Yeah.
kid. Bro, like, so I harken back sometimes to like when I was a kid and back when I would visit my dad in New York, and he would always listen to certain music at certain times of the day. Nighttime, he would listen to jazz. Daytime, like early morning, classical music.
That's cool.
And I hated it. I hated classical music. I was like, this shit is weird,
Yeah.
bro. Like, why are we eating oatmeal and listening to classical music? And I didn't know that my dad was a music major. I didn't know he had like a music background. He was in a band.
Yeah.
Motherfucker had dreadlocks. He's been bald my whole life. It's like from what I can see. You know what I'm saying? Like I never saw my dad with a fade or any of that shit. Like he's been bald my whole life, still to this day. So it's so funny how we just keep going on tangents, but I love this. So nowadays I find myself doing certain things like that. Like I can't listen to rap at like 7 a.m.
Dude, people that start their day with like rap,
I can't.
That's a hot Cheetos activity. You know what I'm talking about? That's hot Cheetos activity.
Low vibrational energy.
Yeah. That's hot Cheetos for breakfast energy.
That ass.
Yeah.
And I can't, bro. Like for the life of me, it has to be something minimal, if anything at all, but minimal. And
I find myself listening to country in the morning
that's cool.
just because it's just very basic. You know how bland country music is?
Yeah, it's stripped down. You might have 2-3 different instruments
Yeah.
and a vocalist.
Yeah.
That's it. But that's cool.
It's easy in the morning.
Yeah, easy listening music. You know what I mean? I've found myself replicating that dude that I saw when I was 10 years old. Certain things. And then there's certain things where I'm just like, I gotta cut this
It's
off.
crazy how you pick up on certain things that your parents do.
But I think that's also like genetics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you're naturally gonna gravitate towards the things they naturally gravitated to because y'all share the same DNA and the same coding, and there's certain things that pique your ear that probably pique their ears.
Right. 100%.
So it's interesting. I mean, I wish I could have those conversations in terms of like, yo, like what were you on in your 30s, dog? Like what was you doing? You know what I'm saying? And there's certain times where I'm just like, I'm glad we have these conversations now because when I'm 50, I can look back at this and be like, oh shit, that's what 30-year-old Colin was talking about. Like, who the fuck was Nymbus? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and then my son or daughter, if I have one, God willing, they could see that too.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, damn, that was what was on your mind back then. Like,
That's why I really
cool.
appreciate this, because I know that we're gonna look back on this when we're older, right? Show our kids and be like, look what we did.
Yeah.
Look what we started. You know,
Yeah.
you could do this too.
They're going to be in hover cars, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
With the Tesla robots. Yo, there's mad shit we didn't talk about. We didn't mention the fucking iRobots that Elon Musk rolled out.
All right.
Oh my God. Next episode.
Next episode. Y'all stay tuned. This has been dope. I think this is probably the longest one we've done in a while. But
Oh, man.
thanks for tuning in, everybody. Like, follow, subscribe, and y'all be you. We're gonna be us.
Peace.
Later.
Wow.